Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Greetings. Welcome. Yes, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here. Look at y'all. All right. You can actually get a good glimpse of you tonight because, of course, this is pre-recorded. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight for an introduction. A lot of things happened in this last week that we just need to talk about. And so I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to talk about it. Let's do that right now. You are the media now. That's the message. That's the message of the moment. That's the message of my channel now. That's the message of probably everybody's channel now. We are the media now. We're the purveyors of truth and sentiment. We have an approach that's directed towards the voters, the people, the populace at large. And we're not trying to do things for other media. Donald Trump won the election just this last week. He did it because we're the media. Elon Musk started a trend on his X platform, and it grew like wildfire. The Access Media, the paid-off pundits, and the three companies that own 99.9% of all media in this country, they're going to have to pivot now to start telling the truth. Just one message will reign in the future, or at least for the next few years. You're the media. And it was all made possible by a bastion of free speech, a person in Elon Musk who spent $44 billion of, well, his and other people's money to purchase an intelligence agency compromised Twitter and turn it into X. And while the dastardly details of the suppression of information and censorship, all of that prevailed under a propaganda machine that was driven by the government boot heel, With support of the creator, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk sought to remove the mess, restoring as much free speech as he could, everything he could muster, and countering the nonprofits and NGOs that were pushing on advertisers to cause them to, well, stop advertising, which, because of Elon's efforts, they ended up having to fold and disappear, enabling people to recognize the difference between truthful information and government narratives that were spun out by severely captured legacy media, which I think we've all seen over the course of the last, 2 decades. Now, citizen journalists movements are spun into action for people such as James O'Keefe, and he suddenly had to leave his captured Veritas efforts behind to reform under OMG, reminding everyone out there that you're the media now. You have YouTubers, Rumble ranters, and even every other platform streamer that's out there know that this phrase is a rallying cry. It's an invitation to participate in a particular kind of citizen journalism that involves just asking questions and reporting facts that are otherwise distorted by other media efforts. You're the media now. That's a good message, because after these results of just the last few days, it's absolutely true. Perhaps the defining quality of this election cycle is how few people trust the mainstream, or legacy media if you prefer. They see their role as an establishment-owned globalist world government apologist with a deteriorating audience that often spends the majority of its time mocking and laughing at them. How much influence did they have in 2024? At least 25% less, if not more. If you base all of that on the viewership on election night coverage alone, if you look at the outcome state by state, they had a negative effect in the extreme. In fact, the well over 90% negative coverage by the mainstream media for 4 consecutive years after Trump left office had a deleterious effect, to be kind about it. It didn't go their way. In fact, looking at it another way, based on Trump and Kamala Harris's appearance on various podcast shows, Kamala's avoidance of anything real not controlled by her and her team with editing approval, such as, the Joe Rogan experience, and essentially Trump, J.D. Vance, and even Elon's late race appearance interviews with that very same Joe Rogan, citizen journalism is not the future. It's now, right now. That conversation was so important with the former Bernie bro Joe Rogan that it actually yielded his presidential endorsement. And I don't think you could have made any other choice. Not only has the media landscape shifted, the new media did nothing but demonstrate the shattering destruction of the elite stranglehold on public attention. It's gone. It's over. And to use a sentence they so often parrot, and that's a good thing. People have realized that listening to the honeyed poison poured in their ears by the mainstream is the equivalent of turning a blind eye to the truth. We the people have seen the coverage, the statements, the demonization of the majority opinion as a projection of a machine bent on authoritarian government and cult-like adherence to the message. If you stray from their dogma, you are attacked, unpersoned, and will be accused and charged with whatever they can make stick. Worse yet, they have changed public perception to one where a substantial majority do not trust the mainstream at all. In the past, journalism required the author to suppress their biases and pursue actual facts and truth. At this point, there is no pursuit involved, no investigation, no dedication to taking the path wherever it takes you, wherever it goes, even if it destroys your indoctrinated worldview. No, instead, it's pushing your ingrained activism narrative to help conquer your ideological goals. Yet no one in the mainstream will cop to this. While everyone has seen it and are tired of it, they dismiss it. They have replaced it. Who knew? Who knew first? And told the story of FEMA issues after Hurricane Milton. Citizens who exposed issues with Biden's mental decline. Whistleblowers who highlighted the constant lies, corruption, and two-tier justice in the many memory-hold Biden administration, including Hunter Biden laptop. You guessed it, us. We're the media now. So, what was the moment that woke the most people up in the 4 most prevalent years of media lies? Well, the legitimate Democrat candidate in this election's disastrous debate. The media could no longer shirk the truth. They had to actually come clean about Grandpa Ice Cream's deteriorating, melting brain. Something, if anybody that watched myself or Valiant Renegade or Nerdrotic, D-Day Cobra, The Quartering, Tim Pool, Comix Division, and so many more, hundreds of other channels, had been reporting since before the previous election even. We talked openly and often about it in creative ways to avoid words that would irritate YouTube and other platforms and, well, catch the ire of their strict censorship. While that was difficult back then, it's a bit easier now. You see, we can cite authoritative sources, well, what YouTube considers authoritative sources, by repeating what we were saying all those years ago. It's just they have now finally covered it. And consider the fact that so many people were caught off guard. Why? As far as the media had been saying that the administration's chief liar, KJP in particular, all was hunky and dory. President Hair Sniffer was right as rain and sharp as a tack. Well, many of us were shouted down, censored, and shadow banned, like myself specifically, especially the last 3 weeks, for pointing out the obvious contrary. Want to know why the mainstream media didn't say anything? Well, they were afraid to mention his age for fear of being called out as ageist. Literally. That's what they were afraid of. They were afraid of telling the truth for being called a name. Or at least that was one of the lame excuses that they made recently. They could see that the emperor had no clothes, but pretended that he did. All because he aligned with them politically. And it put them in a disastrous position. Of course, many of us, or something that the mainstream media doesn't hide anymore, is the deteriorating health of Mr. Biden. Biden was likely unfit to serve as president from the very start, which, if you think about it now, who was running this country with such disregard for its citizenry for oh so long now? And why wasn't the press pilloried for covering it all up for so very long? Yet, instead of that, the media began to focus on the utterly ridiculous idea of placing an unlikable candidate in the position to run without any primaries, to actually present the person and get them vetted as the greatest thing since no one voted for her before. That's right. If you remember, she did not receive one primary vote in the previous election cycle. Nobody liked her, and certainly no one liked her more now. She was the failed border czar that the media kept lying about that she wasn't, despite the coverage of the fact that they'd even reported that fact. One of the key issues this election was brought into sharp relief because she didn't bother to care what the American people wanted. One of the issues being border security. As the media lost all credibility, something they seem to be doubling down upon to this very moment, the billionaire owners, board members, and CEOs of these companies recognized that in light of their malfeasance and their downright partisanship, they could not endorse such an unqualified, unpleasant, and unpopular candidate. It would make them seem even more disconnected from reality than they have been ever before. Even Jeff Bezos's plaything, the Washington Post, refused to push forward that kind of charade, thus distinguishing itself from the fully compromised entities surrounding them that went forward with such an endorsement. What followed was more performative virtue signaling of ideologically captured writers, editors, columnists, identifying themselves as such while resigning to make a point. Not sure what the point was. We're going to make it easier for people to keep their jobs who didn't leave, because it accomplished nothing aside from knowing who to avoid listening to in the future and getting a bit of exposure to what the regular folks have dealt with financially for the last 4 years. A taste of their own medicine, per se. I mean, it's odd in that moment for them, I'm sure, thinking that anyone would care as they extricated themselves from their paying jobs to look for something elsewhere at a much lower pay rate, which they would certainly be guaranteed. Perhaps virtue signaling can have a cost and even a positive result. I mean, for the people working at Bezos's, as I mentioned, they have a problem. They're increasingly an irrelevant source of information. So it was kind of a boon for everybody left behind because they get to keep their jobs longer, as basically a bunch of layoffs took place without any help from the bosses. I mean, there were some savvy enough in the media to realize that perhaps the jig was up, and there was no real future in the mainstream any longer. Media had failed the masses and became what most first-year journalism students were taught in the 90s to avoid at all costs. The activist ideologue that's putting feelings before the facts and entering a story with an agenda, which is a no-no. I would be lying to say that I haven't been fascinated in the last few days that even network talking heads like Sean Hannity have started preaching that the collapse of the old mainstream media is at hand, recognizing that most people do not trust them, not anymore. Worse yet, as he states, the American people no longer care what the legacy media says, what Hollywood says, what Obama says, what the celebrities have to say. Why? Because they have zero influence. Legacy media and celebrity influence is completely dead, and I couldn't agree more. From a distance, everybody can see that the old media is dying. Even version 1.0 of the new media is toast. Site traffic is plummeting on a trend that seems to accelerate for some reason. Well, the last 2 years alone, it's been driven for a real reason. It's way worse because of the algorithmic change that could be the final straw to break up Google into a dozen pieces or more because, well, they're driving it and pushing things to basically just Google to find every shred of news before you even bother to visit a site. Cable news is in such bad shape that Comcast is looking to break with their long-term effort called MSNBC, or as I carefully call PMSNBC, but they, in fact, are looking for a buyer right now, very publicly, as a matter of fact. They talked about it in their quarterly call. Not that anybody wants that smoldering ruin liability. Worse yet, Warner Brothers Discovery could not even solicit offers for CNN at the meeting of the moguls in Sun Valley this year. That's saying a lot. A lot of billionaires there, and nobody opened their checkbook. Nobody wants it, even less so now. And it's only going to get worse. And why is it all so bad? Well, it's the same answer. Audiences are just done with the typical news and its sources. They prefer the screen in their hand, like maybe the one you're holding now, to the one that would be on the wall, or sometimes a computer screen. They prefer a dynamic and engaging, authentic person talking about the news and the events of the day. A person who relates to them and their situation, authentic in a way that today's media just can't ever manage. After breaking with traditional journalism, the mainstream gave away their only advantage, abandoning the idea of focused, strong ethical practices and strenuous objectivity with facts, anchoring basically everything that they did. Stories, columns, opinion pieces, and the like. All of that created a situation that I don't think they were prepared for. It left no difference between the mainstream and somebody's old-fashioned 90s blog page. Being focused on only an ideological worldview must be easier to adhere to so very strictly in order to even work in that structure. Seems much easier for everybody working in legacy media's framework, and it also removes their relevance, and as a result, an audience's attention, which I feel like I might be losing yours, so I'm going to hurry through the rest of this. You see, I find that I can go on and on about the ways that the media, the legacy media, has been dropping the ball with facts, figures, and, of course, quotes from within. But why bother? I didn't bury the lead for a reason. I led with it. You're the media now, and that's a good thing. I'm sorry about the lack of jokes tonight, folks, but I thought this being more relevant for this evening, and I believe that going forward, well, it'll be more appreciated. Anyway, take it away, Tox. We're out of here.
I love it.
CultureCasino has arrived to tell us that Disney stock is down to below $97 a share.
How did you know that? That's exactly why I showed up. I saw that this was going to be your favorite day ever, Mike. I know you're a YouTuber, but you're very involved in Disney stock.
I am absolutely a YouTuber. Thank you for recognizing that, sir. CultureCasino. You sent me nothing, right? Yesterday at 10. Oh, I didn't send the link. I was talking about him, and I didn't even send the link. Here I was talking about him at the beginning of the show for not being here, and I just see my DMs, and he says, "You do know that you." Here, I'm going to show this. I'm going to show my DMs. I got to do this before Culture gets here, otherwise he'll laugh at me. Oh, Culture, I was talking about you earlier.
Oh, no.
You're supposed to act like you care.
Okay.
So here it says, here's yesterday, 8:36 a.m., 10 o'clock. Loki told me to send you this for tomorrow morning. Kisses and hugs, 10:07. 9:30. Do you know you sent me nothing, right? Oops. Okay, this is proof positive I am a YouTuber.
Oh, we are back. Yeah, I know I subjected you to a really lengthy monologue, and it was pre-recorded, as I said at the beginning, but there was a reason. And tomorrow you'll be able to find that in a short-form video. Well, I mean, it'll still be 17 minutes long, but you'll be able to find it as an individual video later in the day. You'll also hopefully see it on thatparkplace.com. As an opinion piece, and you'll be able to read. It's a little more refined over there, a little less, drawn out, and I think you will enjoy it. It's important to understand what actually transpired and what is transpiring in the world around us, including, well, some mistakes that Mattel Toys has recently made. I can't even apologize for the fact that this was an accident. I don't even care. I actually enjoy the fact that Mattel actually lists a adult site on its toy box. There's a surprise inside. Maybe not the one that everybody showed up for or was anticipating after going to that particular website. But before we jump into this, I just want to say thank you to the folks that have sent some super chats and memberships for this evening. You guys are absolutely the best. I rely on your support. I really appreciate it. We've got Ruby Hoove gifting us a Culture Casino membership for the evening. She does this every single day. It's like clockwork, and I appreciate her and Hoove more than they could possibly. We've got Scott Westbrook with his 5 Culture Casino memberships. He is a genius and a wonderful wildlife photographer. His pictures are extraordinary. I really wish he would be able to share more. I'm kind of going to have to start begging him for a channel, but I also appreciate the 5 Culture Casino memberships, which is 5 lucky people. And of course, for 10 Culture Casino Cash, Scott follows up with, that monologue was a masterpiece. Definitely worth another 10 spot. Thank you, my friend. And had I read that live, I feel I would have just continued to go on. Because while most of it was written down, I was a little extemporaneous in the B section. And if you know anything about speech writing, well, I was a long way from the end. So there's that. But thank you for the 10 spot. Much appreciated, my friend. On that note, we need to jump into, talking about some interesting toy boxes, just not the ones people may have expected. Let's Tox, thank you for running everything. I appreciate it. Let's bring in everybody else and take a shot at Mattel accidentally introducing some crazy stuff. Anyway, welcome, gentlemen. We've got, of course, our friend Gramcast. We've got Toxic Man Flu, the producer, and the man who runs the internet, Jason from Sci-Fi for Me TV. How are you all doing this evening?
And the missus.
Oh, really? Hi.
There she is.
The lovely.
I figured we had a couple of topics that might.
Ladies, that's right.
Wait, this is possibly a porn site. You bring your wife on? Okay, I get it. All right, fine.
Of course he does.
I get it.
Do you think the search for green witch porno videos is going to skyrocket when the Wicked movie comes out? Because I know what I'm going to be searching.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are going to be searching, but we've got great people over on the Green Machine. I didn't get to acknowledge. Thanks for being there, everybody. Even the beautiful Deeple is over there. We've got incredible humans, including Nano Reaper tonight, sharing the stage over on the main chat and the YouTube. I appreciate all of you. Let's talk specifically about this. How do you make this mistake, guys? Mattel accidentally lists prawn site on a Wicked line of dolls.
No, you don't make that mistake. It's not a mistake.
Yeah, it's not a mistake.
No,
not a mistake. They intentionally took this famous, I was almost going to say infamous, but this famous musical piece that they turned into a 2-part movie that they're not telling anybody about, by the way, and slapped on the directions to get to adult content.
That's awesome. All right. Definitely made for kids. Way to go. Who did this movie?
It wasn't Disney, believe it or not.
Universal.
Universal Pictures.
Universal? Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool with it. The hub has been getting real stale lately, so at least now I have some new material to go peruse.
I have a theory, having been in this business of graphic design and marketing and advertising and whatnot. What I'm think probably happened, and this is a complete guess on my part, but some 20-something intern graphic designer put this thing together, and some mid-20-something art director looked at it and went, yeah, it's okay. And then they didn't do any proper vetting or checking or double checking or anything like this. We've talked about this before, where the 20-somethings don't have their brains fully formed, and they're on the social media, and they're saying stupid things because they got no self-control. I think this is another aspect of that. This is another illustration of that. You should not have your marketing or social media team populated by anybody under 30. I think that's what happened here.
I don't accept that. What I think is funny is there were no copy editors. There's no copy editor on this.
Well, I mean, the copy editors too. I mean, how many of these people are probably working from home and maybe have graduated college? Maybe. I mean, the old people, people our age in their 40s and 50s and 60s, they're all gone because they're too expensive. They're too curmudgeonly. They're too locked in their. This is the way we've always done it, and they're more expensive. I mean, the paradigm shift in the employment in this industry, they're all younger. I mean, look at Kamala's campaign team. They're all 20-something stupid kids. Yeah, and that's what they do. You go with the young crowd who wants to connect with this young crowd. So you hire the people that you're. It feels like it's a cascade effect of a lot of different irresponsible, dumb mistakes. Either that or somebody did it deliberately.
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people are suggesting maybe because again, it's kind of a way to get some viral marketing, right, for free, perhaps.
I used to
Yeah, but
work
that's
with a
well.
very popular coffee company that does, pumpkin spice stuff this time of year. And I can tell you the amount of approvals that have to go through for copy as well as assets is incredibly lengthy. So if this actually was something that was just missed, this is going to be a complete collapse and a very apparent failure of their approvals process, and someone is going to lose their job. Or the
Well,
answer could just be that somebody put it on there intentionally to try to get some traffic to maybe they're part owner of the adult site,
perhaps, or maybe they just knew it would draw a lot of attention. And again, viral marketing's a thing. We've watched Terrifier 3 use Art the Clown in various ways to get people to talk about the movie. I think
Well,
they're
okay.
worried.
Counterpoint. I
Yeah.
want to illustrate from an actual live real world example that I had to deal with in my TV days. We had a client that was going to start advertising on TV. Up until that point, they'd only done print. It's called the Knotty Rug Company. Knotty being like tying your knots, right? It's spelled Knotty. Knotty Rug Company. Of course, they would play on the double entendres in their print ads.
All right.
Knotty Rug Company, say these things, but it's a print ad. It's one line. It's it's a joke. It's a gag, tongue in cheek, and they move on. They decided they wanted to take that and do it in TV commercials.
Okay.
Well, you've got 30-second TV commercials, so you got to do more than just one line. So I wrote these scripts based on their print campaign, so it would all tie in because consistency, continuity, and they approved the scripts. And we went and we shot all of the footage, and I went and I put this thing together, and they saw it and they realized what they were doing with all of the double entendres, and they went, "Oh, we can't do that." I was like, "You've been doing it in your print ads. What did you think was going to be? What did you think this was going to look like? I mean, you get a sexy blonde in a little tight black dress, and she's doing all these things. Hey, what did you think it was going to do?"
No
There are
rug, no
some
problem.
there are some clients who are so because they know what they know, right? And they're fixed in their one little information box, and they don't think outside. Their expertise is X. And they don't even think, they take it for granted that everybody else knows everything that they know until they realize they don't know. And they realize that there's been a communications breakdown somewhere. And oops, now this one is going to cost them. Yeah, it's a lot of free advertising and it's viral stuff, but it's going to cost a lot of money because they got to do all the recalls and do all this stuff all over again.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got to do it all over again. But was it worth it? Because I think Eric K has a good thought here for $2 in Culture Cash, saying Wicked got everybody talking about it now. Yeah, they did. And they're not talking about the fact that it's a 2-part film. I think everybody's going to lose their stuff when they find that out, to be fair.
Yeah, it's still probably going to do exceptionally well at the box office, though. I mean, Ariana Grande is like, one of the top 5 musical artists right now that's out there in terms of, young ladies. So I have a feeling that movie's going to probably do pretty well for what it is.
Well,
so they didn't need to do something like this, but maybe it was just to divert attention away from the lady who plays the Wicked Witch, like frigging the fuck out and being like, "Hey, I'm looking in the camera. Like, let's, maybe it was just a diversion tactic. I don't know."
I don't think this helps.
Neither do I. But I mean, the thoughts from the chat are amazing right now. And I just want to say thank you for your contributions. I really do appreciate it. Mark Field says, this for 10, my goodness, 10 Culture Casino Cash says, This question is for everybody. When you were learning to drive, what was the car you learned to drive in? Keep it up, CC and company. I love this channel. Well, I learned how to drive a manual and at the same time an automatic. I loved learning how to drive manual because I felt like it gave me more control over the vehicle. I really appreciated that, but ultimately, I think the automatic got the most use. It was the thing that I actually utilized for my driver's test when I first took it at my 15 and 9 months point in time. So I was good to go. In the minute that I could officially take the driver's test, I still believe I took I took the automatic, but I drove the manual very, very often and appreciated that because when you're towing something, especially in a truck, having that level of control and the ability to downshift easily, you really kind of mastered situations. So, how about you guys? What did you do?
I learned originally on a automatic. My parents tried teaching me. I know I'm kind of the young one around here. On a 95 Ford Escort to drive a stick shift, and
Nice escort.
that that was not a good system in all. My parents always had problems. So they threw me back behind the automatic. When I got into my college years, I really, really wanted to drive my friend's 96 GT Ford Mustang. That was a stick. But they wouldn't let me do it until I learned how to drive a stick. So they took me out to a very flat neighborhood and taught me how to drive a stick on a 82 Datsun truck that as you shifted it, you could see the ground underneath. The speedometer didn't work, the gas gauge didn't work, and the thing to tell you when to shift, the little whatever it's called, didn't work either. You had to learn it by feel. And it was not fun for their neck or mine, but eventually I got it and learned well enough to be able to drive that Mustang. I got to be to the point where we would go to San Francisco for the day because I was in Northern California.
Oof.
Hills,
Yep.
that Mustang, being able to drive a shift, not stall, not roll backwards, eat and drink on in the car. And I could get to the point where I could peel out of a complete stop with it, and that was back in the day when cell phones were the big chunky Nokias. I could do all that at once. I absolutely loved it, and to this day, I would really, really, really want another one
Did you
stick to
play
play with.
Snake while you were driving? That's the question on your Nokia.
No, no, I didn't.
I learned on my grandfather's 1968 Chevy pickup. It was a standard transmission. Dad would take us. We would go to the church parking lot and start practicing. And one of the very first times, I let out the clutch too fast, and the car starts doing this, and I immediately look over at Dad and say, "What'd you do?" And he just starts laughing. He says, "I didn't do anything. You did it." It got better after that.
I see him doing that.
Yeah, mine it was my grandma had an old late 90s Honda Prelude that was a manual. And so what my old man, he said your first car is going to be a stick and you're going to learn how to drive that very well because you'll always know how for the rest of your life if you do that for the first couple of years. So what he did is he actually took me to the back of our local grocery store where they have the loading dock for the trucks. So it's a very slight decline. It's like a little ramp that the truck backs down to unload the groceries. And he parked the car on that ramp. And he said, "You're not ready to go take your test until you can get to the top of this without rolling back at all." So that's because there was nobody around. It was an empty truck ramp. So I'm not in danger of hitting anything. And there was plenty of runway. If I rolled all the way to the bottom, I could figure out how to hit the brakes before I hit the wall. So that was it. And then my first car after that was a 6-speed manual Volkswagen GLI Jetta. And
Ooh.
I recently bought a 1996 Acura Integra 5-speed because I missed driving a manual so much. I bought a project car because you're right, it's so much fun. And fun fact, the number one auto theft deterrent right now in America is a manual transmission.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's just something about it. It's and I feel so weird talking about this after talking about the stuff with Wicked because it can go so many sideways, but there's just something about the feel of it. To be able to sit there and have those 3 things for your feet, my brain's fried. But,
Pedals.
and
Pedals.
sitting and playing, and while you're sitting there and driving and just holding on to it and feeling the car. I mean, because I had to learn by feel. I couldn't do anything. Now, I did get a 2000 and I forget what year, Volkswagen Beetle, the new Beetles, and it was a convertible.
Yeah.
That
Was it
has
yellow?
no, my hardtop was a yellow one, and when I traded it in because it was a pretty day out and I couldn't see the sky, so literally just drove over to the dealership and said, "I wanna trade my car in for a convertible." I got guacamole green. But, it
Okay
had the
then.
option to be able to drive it as a stick shift. Now, only up and down, unfortunately,
Mhm.
instead of the full H, but there was just something about it.
All right. Well,
Speaking of stick shift,
and
Comix Division's here.
yeah, and being able to only go up and down. How's it going, Comics?
Oh, it's fine until you idiots start talking.
Oh, that's great. That's funny. It's really good.
I'm doing good. Doing good. How about you guys?
Good. I didn't get to talk about my first stick shift experience, but
well,
hey,
was
it was in
it-
San
was it-
Francisco. Hey, there it is. No,
Truck
no.
stop with the glory hole talks.
He got his first stick in San Francisco.
Excuse me, Circle K. That's what it was.
More like circle jerk.
Ho.
Okay.
Sometimes you just can't eat the jerk.
We were talking about our first vehicle experiences here, but I just have to say,
1974 Chevy Vega.
nice. That's a beast of a
Oh
vehicle.
no! Mustard yellow with the fake wood paneling in it was the hat. It was the wagon. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Less cool.
Classic.
All right.
The car I learned to drive in actually was 2 because I learned manual and automatic at the same time.
Me too.
So yeah, it was a 89 Honda Prelude, which was my mom's car. That was actually the automatic.
Same here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forget how old I am compared to y'all.
Yeah, because all my cars were 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Well, the funny, my first car was an Oldsmobile Delta 88, which I think was 1966.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Dude, I'm just gonna tell you right now that the best vehicle ever is it was.
Oldsmobile.
Yeah, well,
My first child was conceived in a 1979 Cutlass Calais.
There's a lot of information.
She's in the other room. She goes, seriously?
I heard that.
Let's say thank you to Mark for his super chat.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
We need to move on from that glory moment there. Speaking of glory moments, Comics. We were talking about this story about Mattel.
About Wicked printing the wrong URL, which went to a porn site. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they basically said, hey, go to wicked.com. Okay.
Oh, we were talking about the Cutlass Calais. Beautiful car. I've been looking for one ever since. A G-body, but they don't make those Cutlass Calais anymore. They've all been sucked up and used for racing cars, and all those G-bodies did. Oh, it sucks.
Wow, you are going to get so fired.
E-tops on it.
You're going to get so fired. All right, speaking of amazing
fired
people.
from something you're getting no money for.
That's true. Wait. I'm just talking about by your partner, bro. Anyway,
supposed to get money for this?
No. CJ says, I used to work as a production coordinator, excuse me. And as you say, I used to have to go through many approvals before going to press, including the sales rep whose job is on the line.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So someone is gonna get fired here, whether it be the individual who actually wrote the wrong URL, or if it's going to be the individual whose process has to oversee everything. Because he's correct, and I can tell you from even like the smallest social media post, the level of approvals that need to go through all the way up the chain is staggering for these large companies. So this is either people just like quiet quitting, punching the clock, and not really paying attention to detail, or the more I think about it, the more I'm erring on the side. Maybe they're just maybe they're just idiots. Cause like, I don't think those old porno like production companies, like people know about them anymore. We just know the hub, you know?
Well, I mean,
having made the mistake that cost the TV station $80,000
Whoa.
once.
Ouch.
I can say that there are some times when there are extenuating circumstances like pending divorce and
Porn
child
addiction.
being taken away from you, and you at some point you just don't care. And you're still not paying attention. You're going through the motions, and you just do the thing, and you're not even aware that you're loading the wrong commercial into the pack. And there are all sorts of checks and balances, and all sorts of people who are supposed to double check it and make sure it's the right one, and everything's good and everything fine. And it still, at the end of the day, is a big costly mistake. And yeah, some people get fired.
Well, I've seen a lot of people load the wrong DAC into systems before, but usually it's at a radio station, and it's usually not something that like borks everything up. That sounds like you actually made a bork everything up kind of moment.
You got a client that's got offices in Kansas City and St. Louis,
Yeah.
so the phone numbers are different, right? And they got 30-second spots, so they got 15-second spots. So I loaded a 15-second spot for St. Louis into a slot that was supposed to be for a 30-second spot for Kansas City. And it ran for weeks before anybody caught it.
So that means nobody was paying attention to it.
Yeah,
that means nobody was paying.
And the other thing too,
nobody caught it.
Okay, but here's
the other thing too, that there's a lot of times during crunch where people make mistakes too, and that is also a possibility that could have happened here.
Or Comix Eric K nails it and says, "Who's talking about that idiot actress now?"
No, well, there's that too.
It could be.
Yeah. Mark Fields says for 2 Culture Casino Cash that many years ago, Mark F was the password to an adult site. Well, there you go. Thank you for that.
Tom's in the chat saying these were done in February.
Yeah. So
where is Tom?
That's really, really bad. Really, really bad. SFX F314 Sabertooth Raptor for $5. This Culture, I sent you some pictures of all comment on. Salute to veterans and served as Veterans Day is tomorrow. Actually, Semper Fi to my Marine friends, because today is the 249th, I believe, birthday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is, and I
for
am
the Marines.
scared for next year because it's 250, and we know how those Marines love to party.
Oh, there's gonna be a bunch of drunk Marines running around. San Diego is going to be awesome.
San Diego will be awesome. That is not a lie. Man, especially on the island, right? Coronado Island.
Yeah.
They're going to get loose out there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The amount of blacked out Marines and armed forces people that I've seen in downtown San Diego, especially around Comic-Con time, is like through the roof. It's a lot of fun.
It's bonker sauce for sure.
I can't wait till July 2026 when we have our America's World Fair.
Yes, the American party.
Yeah. Have a beer from every state, 50 beers deep in one day.
Yeah, I get.
Okay, my stomach's turning thinking of that.
I am right now looking for the email from our friend SFXF3. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. I'll download these and get them up there. I just want to say this. I have to tell you, SFXF314 Sabertooth Raptor works very hard on all these designs. As soon as I get an opportunity to set up the engineering station with 3D printers in a reasonable room where the temperature isn't going to screw things up, I'm going to print at least 1 or 2 of these. So, well done to that. Thank you for that. And Eric K for another 5 Culture Casino Cash says, a good thing about manual transmissions is most thieves cannot drive a stick. Actually, that is a saving grace in California right now.
Yeah. Go figure.
Manual transmissions in cursive will save the republic.
It will, because y'all are dumb. Okay, well,
I had put
young
a
people are
quick release steering wheel on my project car because Hondas and Acuras are so easily stolen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
whenever I get out of the car, I just take the steering wheel with me. So if somebody wants to steal the car, they can't. There's no steering wheel.
Yeah, it doesn't work out well in their benefit anyway. So there's that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh. No, I just saw something.
Oh.
Completely unrelated to anything, but John Bolton has admitted he didn't actually hear the suckers and losers line.
So he's a liar.
He's a liar.
I thought you had said you
Sorry.
stumbled upon wicked.com real quick and you were liking what you see.
He did. Yeah, except his wife is sitting right there next to him.
Why is this Thunder from Down Under thing? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, look, you know what? I thought that was the greatest picture I ever took. Was
you naked?
No, me as part of Thunder from Down Under. I think our friend the Comix Division still has that image.
You were fluffing.
I know I wasn't. He was fluffing.
No.
Okay, I got a question.
What does that mean, fluffing? Explain in great detail, please.
Well, you get down on your knees, but you're not praying to God.
All I want to know is John Coleman for $5, a great friend, an opportunity just absolutely enjoyed in San Antonio, my friend, says, have we talked about the Tofana videos on TikTok? Guys, the antidote is lemon juice and vinegar. I don't know what any of that means. Do you guys know what that means?
You haven't seen this? You haven't seen this yet?
No.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about it when we talk about the shaved heads.
Oh, okay.
Because it's related.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a little 4D on the 4B or the 4C or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, look, I'm going to tell you right now about folic acid, but it's a whole other conversation. Makini Dreams. I just said dreams. Draws. My buddy Makini, who I have to say,
probably dreams.
They actually
you haven't dreamed about Makini?
Some of his drawings are dreams. I'm just saying. Says, hey, there, have a sticker. A Shiba Inu dog for 2 CultureCasino cash. Our friend Pacino's helicopter tours, I guess.
Pacino's?
I don't know. Pinochet's.
Patchoulie's helicopter tours.
Patchoulie's helicopter
Patchoulie's helicopter tours. This is the I turn into Gary all of a sudden. Anyway, this is not a mistake. You are powerless to convince me otherwise. These companies are full of PDF folks.
Files.
And I am under no obligation to declare otherwise. Par for the course for Hollywood and Mattel. Just, people that get involved and, things that appeal to younger people. I can understand your perspective.
Green people.
And I appreciate the $5. We got Cyrano, $29.60 for another 5 Culture Cash. Says, on this day in 1775, a bar fight started. And it has never ended. No, it has not. And we appreciate 249 years of that amazing bar fight. Thank you, Cyrano. And Eric K. for 5 Culture Casino Cash says, I bet you someone higher up wrote an email telling them to include this web address email. They did not double check themselves. The person making just copied. Yeah. I think that's possible.
Okay, I got a question for you
Yeah,
guys.
it was
'cause
comics.
Your brain's working better than mine.
Totally.
And you know this
you
stuff.
did.
Did you just hear me a minute ago reading the super chat?
What?
I
My
tuned
brain
you
is
out.
not working better.
She's being generous right now.
All right, I was going to say I got older.
One of the two.
I got older a couple days ago. I'm worse. Okay.
So this is what I have to expect with Mr. Boss.
Oh, you have
over
no
there.
idea. The dumb is coming. You have no clue.
The dumb is coming.
What does this have to do with talk
Culture
culture?
Yeah.
What?
I don't get it.
Keep going. I'm
What
sorry.
is your
wait.
Dumbing.
Filter's lost
The
control.
dumbing.
I just got that joke. That was a
And I sit
delayed
there
coming
and
joke.
I laughed at the conversation that we've already had about driving cars, and I keep threatening to throw you up on a couple of cinder blocks up in the garage.
Oh, you're going to change his oil?
Well, I sit there and say with as old as
I
he
can't
is,
find
I
his
like
dipstick.
classics.
Can't find his dipstick at all.
Pretty much.
I think
But-
it's probably pretty easy to find his dipstick.
There it is.
your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so you have them doing a recall now on the toys, because of the website on there. The cost, what is the cost going to be for them to do a recall like that? And what would be the cost for all this free advertisement publicity?
Okay, I'm with
I'm
you.
curious.
I believe you are correct. I think it is better to have the free advertisement than to worry about the box. I don't even think they'll recall them. To be fair, there's no
they
point.
have already. They have.
Okay, so the people who got
recall.
the people who already got their boxes. Gosh, I can't believe I said that. The people who already got their boxes.
No,
with
boxes were definitely
language-
involved, I imagine.
They got printing on their boxes too. You don't know what's up.
Now, look. If they got printing on their box, that's a lot of hours that a tattoo got. Anyway, I'm just going to say that this is this is going to be valuable. If you got,
can you imagine if Kathy Griffin, after shaving her head, did the same thing in that area and wanted to tattoo the poor person that has to do that?
I know.
Is it
Printing on the box.
Is it just me, or does she look like Gollum more now than ever?
No, she definitely had work done because she's looked a lot worse. I mean, not that she looks good now.
What?
No,
What?
she used to look a lot worse.
No.
Did she shave?
Yeah, she shaved her head.
She
did?
I was.
Wow.
I had thought that
It
she was
looks like
losing her
Gollum.
hair and she took her wig off.
She looks like it's Terry. It's something.
Yeah, I think Graham's right. She just took the wig off.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, that really frayed weird hair that she had a few days ago, telling you all that you suck because you voted the wrong way, was not really hair. It was more like the Muppet that she recently sacrificed to put on her head. But I don't know.
Well, and
I mean,
if she has veneers of any sort, they have to shave your teeth down to get those on there. And if she has like removable ones, then her teeth are already Golem style. So she could
my
go all
God.
natural.
So she's like Gungan style?
You want to see?
Yeah.
Do you want to see?
No.
Yes, yes.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, Jason, you're not allowed to. No.
Oh, my God.
State of Missouri says he has to.
Oh, gosh. All right.
Do it.
No.
Oh, also, did you guys see Biden stumbling on the beach?
Yes.
No.
Well,
And Jill's just
this-
like grabs the arm and walks.
Or a day that
So-
ends in Y.
I'm not
All right,
sure if
so
this
in
graphic is correct because I thought this image was Kathy Griffin celebrating shaving her head to withhold her tang from Trump supporters. But this says that it's
Hey,
to
I
support
liked
her
Tang
sister
as a
with
kid.
cancer. So maybe she was trying to support her sister with cancer and then was like, I can be disingenuous.
That
walk
I
with
get
it.
in. You know me.
There's
I
been a
am-
lot of fake stuff out there too, so it could be.
Yeah, look, I'm one of those guys. I
this is-
support cancer survivors like to the extreme. So I that's why tonight's show, the thumbnail is what it is. There's a lot of insensitivity with this 4B movement, and we'll get into that here very soon. So
Yeah, and to be fair, this is what's being presented as connected to this.
Oof.
So, I mean, this is the picture that circulated around. So whether it's accurate or not, I can't speak to that. But this is what's out there.
Because that looks like her a lot younger.
No, it does. It looks
Yeah,
like
I
they're
would say
look, somebody did, and if not, it looks like somebody did the world's best Photoshop job.
Yeah, that image is from 2017 because ABC News.
There we go.
ABC News has a video talking about her supporting her sister with cancer from 2017.
Yeah, that makes sense because she looks a lot older now.
She
Than
looks
that.
way too young in that photo.
Yeah.
She looks
Yeah.
no bueno right about
No.
now.
Okay, so there's that. But here's the other thing. Our good friend Pinochet's Helicopter Tours for 2 Culture Casino Cash says, happy 249th birthday, Marines. From a vet of the 391-year-old U.S. Army, because Marines need heroes too.
That's, I think,
Damn, that's heinous.
That's mean.
Really is.
rolling the Wretchen pull because the Marines are there because armies needs heroes too. So
I feel like,
well, the whole reason the Marines were created is because the Army failed to be able to work with the U.S. military and the Confederate military during the Civil War, right?
I thought it was just on you guys.
I honestly wish I could remove this from the world.
What, Kathy Griffin?
Yeah.
Well,
I just did. All right. So
there's nothing wrong with Kathy Griffin
that couldn't be solved with
gas.
Mm-hmm. Hey, the fortunate thing is she hasn't had anything that I've had to watch or that we've had to review in so long.
Yeah.
She's already doing us all a favor.
Oh, no, I know.
By being untalented.
Well, I mean, that's strong.
I don't even know.
What was the last thing she was in that she was talented in? Was she in news radio?
Well, hey, yeah,
Was she talented?
She was in news radio, yeah. I think
was
that's
it.
the last thing I even saw her in.
Yep.
Has she done anything since besides
She did Kathy Griffin's D-list or something.
Oh, that's right.
Well, she is delisted, but I will say John Coleman says, for 6 months of membership, dude, I appreciate you. And I thank you for your gift. I'm still trying to figure out if I need to frame that or something, but it's great. Says, poor Kathy. The curtains now match the carpet. John!
I was saying no bush, no problem.
Yeah, I guess if you're against globalism.
What was that website that's on the box again?
Wicked.com?
You don't need to know.
You don't need.
Although I do have to say, it's fortunate that a lot of these, it's fortunate that these websites have the age gatekeeper thing. You've got to be 18 years or older to get in here.
I want to say something.
There's at least a place where it stops before people actually just kind of get hit in the face with it.
Yeah. Well, what? No. All right. So real quick, I want to hit y'all in the face with the fact that Dan Crane has been a member for 10 months. Thank you. You're amazing. We also have a super chat from our good friend Pinochet's Helicopter Tours for 2 Culture Casino cash, saying no Marines were created because millions in defense before a penny in tribute became a thing. Tripoli Muslim pirates messed with our boats. True story.
Yes, that is a true fact.
Yep. Yeah. And I love
Captain Jack Sparrow was Muslim.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah,
dude.
So.
Well, he kind of looked it. I mean, he was wearing amazing eyeliner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He kind of has that
That was a joke to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. I'm just saying. Okay.
God bless you.
That's Deeple says, "Who touched my boat?" Kathy Griffin. All right. We probably should. We probably should move along. Tox. We probably wait. No,
did you get Cyrano's super chat?
Cyrano said a thing. Hang on.
You got Dean Crane, right?
Yeah, I got him.
You got John Corman.
I got him.
All right. Did you get Dragon Warrior?
I didn't. 13 months of membership. Anybody else underwhelmed with Lilo and Stitch image? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Live action bologna sausage, I'm done with. Don't need it. It's garbage. And I think that film will perform much poorly. Very much poorly. I don't know.
Well, we already know you're going to want to do a date night, so.
I have to, actually.
All right. So you got this 6-month one here. And there you go.
What the hell? Cyrano, $29.60 for 2 Culture Casino cash. Crayon flavored cake at my house.
Hell yeah, I'm on my way.
Taste the rainbow?
Is
that?
God, that was.
I'm going straight to hell, probably.
Skittles.
Wow. Okay. All right. I got a thing I got to share. Tox. Hang on.
This is an STD.
Oh gosh.
Oh, there it is.
That was a very.
You really dug deep and right up inside for that joke.
Hey, look, he digs deep like any kind of fissure you could imagine.
Oh, Toxic Manflu is the one who digs deep between the cracks.
All right, our good friend.
That's right.
That's actually true. SFX F314 Sabertooth Raptor dropped a bunch of amazing ships on our face. Look at that, the Iron Wolf.
Hopefully one of them is not the SS Kathy Griffin if he dropped it on our face.
No. Okay, let's see. Okay, did I load them all up or just the one? No.
I don't know. Ooh, that looks nice.
That is look at those. That is very rounded nacelles at the back.
Yeah, those nacelles look very phallic.
They do. Yeah. I feel like
See, at USSWicked.com.
Yeah, this is definitely wicked.com right here. We got whoa, hey, hello. Let me present my opportunity, ladies. Hello there. And we got look at the
darkness,
look
my
at the-
old friend.
Look at the rounded
good one.
look at the rounded saucer section, baby. Ooh, very
Your
nice.
what?
Does it got a lot of
rounded
girth for you, Culture?
The saucer section.
Is that good enough for you?
Super fine. And whoa, hey now. Look, I feel like we are presenting.
I kind of feel like Culture's getting aroused by looking at the ship.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! It's because it's a hot ass ship.
Look, it's tight. Look at that. Oof, that's a total package there, ladies. I'm telling you, there are mounting opportunities there. All right. Oh wait.
Oh God. That was so bad.
Hey, look. I mean, how often do you get like the opportunity to ride on 4 Nansils? I'm just saying.
It's just a typical day in Vegas, baby.
It is actually. To be fair. All right, we actually have things to get to. Other than the crayon.
Apparently 4 things.
Whoa, Janice sent a thing. Says we want Alita Battle Angel 2. Yes, we do.
Yes.
We have been talking about this in our fellowship sphere.
Is that the one you finally showed me?
We haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you
so
gotta
good.
watch it. It's very good.
Very good. That was the last movie that I actually had watched and been incredibly disappointed that there wasn't a sequel that I could watch immediately. Super underrated. I feel like it flew under the radar super hard.
The last good James Cameron film. Is that right?
Well, and again, it was Robert Rodriguez, because that's the truth. Speaking of the truth, we got Tina Guzman out there spitting out an amazing winking face.
She is winking on your face.
That's right. That's right. A winky face for $1 worth of Culture Casino love in a super sticker form. On that note, while we run the next commercial, I'll try to figure out what we're going to talk about next.
Oh, nothing like pre-planning.
You're welcome.
Just some high quality smut.
What?
What?
I think I missed my cue. All right, here we go.
Neighbors bothering you with their loud music?
You know who else in there?
Your boss or coworker harassing you?
Wait, what? Who said that?
Maybe you have a roommate who cries in their sleep. Bully Mays here with a solution that proves every problem has a mortality rate. Introducing Shank Crate, your all-in-one monthly subscription box that can take care of those in-your-face issues. Each box contains new and unique materials for you to build your very own custom shank.
Oh my gosh.
And for your protection, the contents of each box are totally secret until you receive it. And not only does it create solutions, it also serves as a creative outlet, like an adult form of Lego.
Oh, yeah. Right? That is a literal knife's edge.
Maybe you, like some of our other customers, have questions.
Can I bring it to school?
Who's ever heard of a pencil not being allowed at school?
Can you store it in a pocket?
Absolutely.
What if you don't, have any pockets?
Your discretion. Whether you're conscientious about the earth or just not opposed to being a good steward of the environment, each Shank Crate and its contents are made of 100% recycled materials to make sure we're environmentally friendly. And if you order now, we'll be extra sensitive to the environment and keep all the original fingerprints on the items for your convenience. All for the low cost of $19.99 a month. Call 626-831-9333 to get your Shank Crates today. If you call now and secure your monthly subscription for only $19.99, you'll get your very own alibi insurance for those slightly stickier situations. But wait again, there's even more. To be inclusive, culturally respectful, and as patriotic as possible, each monthly box is themed after a unique prison in the US of A. So call 626-831-9333 now to get your very own unique, patriotic, and environmentally friendly Shank Crate with your own personal alibi insurance.
welcome back, everybody. Thanks. Thank you for sticking around. We got some stuff to talk about, and maybe not the things that I had actually planned. I never bury the lead on stories. I try not to, anyway. We have a weird situation with somebody from Family Ties. It looks like Mallory isn't feeling it right now. The last 4 years, she wasn't digging. She wasn't excited about, and she's been calling it out this whole week. You know what? I don't blame her. Everything around us is complete garbage at the moment, and she just is capable of spouting out the truth. We need to get to that. Let's talk a bit about the Family Ties and the return of common sense. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring everybody in. Have you guys seen recently what Justine Bateman has been spitting out lately?
I have.
Yeah,
I didn't know she felt that way.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that that she was very expressive about all the stuff that was going on. I mean, honestly, don't know what to say about it other than I'm impressed.
You think she was influenced by Zachary Levi coming out?
I think it didn't hurt.
I think she was emboldened, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, if you feel like you're safe, you can come out and talk about just about anything.
Yeah.
But if you have like a group of people rallying behind you, I think it's a little bit easier. I don't know. What do you guys? I mean, do you have something to say about?
I definitely think that the tide is shifting at this point. I don't know if you guys saw the opener for SNL for last night.
No, what was that? Happened? I haven't watched them in a while. So
it was going around on Twitter. They're just making jokes about them supporting Trump and how they were supporting Trump all along. I mean, it was a big gag. But last time when Trump was elected, there was them kind of poking fun at liberals, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. We thought this was going to be the end of Republicans getting elected to be the president." And so I thought it was going to be all preachy, because they start off as like, "I know that some of you out there are shocked by the election," and you're like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." And then they spin it around saying, "And we've always supported Donald Trump." I mean, it is like to that effect. It wasn't super funny. Some of it was a little bit funny, but I mean, it's in a lot of ways, it just kind of shows you how out of touch these people really are.
Yeah. I mean, do you think you hit the nail on the head there? SNL hasn't been funny in a while. There's just a few things that they do, you know?
And so with that being said, I don't think a sketch like that would have happened 8 years ago when he was, elected, the first time. So I think that the more celebrities that come out and basically, speak their mind about how they truly feel about what is going on, I think we'll actually see that now. It's kind of weird because you have like all these tech heads contacting Trump saying congratulations. Of course, they probably don't want to.
Bill Gates. Did you see that from Bill Gates?
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
Gates,
He was trying not to get deaded. And
there was a tweet from Elon Musk, and it was a guy yelling at a fence, and he goes, "All of the swamp monsters trying to get on the Trump administration train."
Yes, I think that's exactly what's happening right now. Is that they this is an official wake up call to
Nikki Haley. Goodbye
to the people who have been living in a very progressive bubble, Hollywood. When they finally see that not only did he win the popular vote, but the Electoral College as well, that this is a referendum on woke. Basically our culture. Yeah, woke. I mean, what's been going on? All this stuff.
Yeah,
I feel rather positive that we might actually see an actual shift back towards the center.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, and I think it's like the only thing that they can do to like save their like
bacon
future.
at this point. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to be relevant, yeah, they definitely have to shift, because at this point, if they stay the course, Americans are going to reject them.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Justine Bateman is like, look, we've had an un-American period over the last 4 years.
Yes,
Common sense had been discarded. And she says that decompressing from walking on eggshells for the past 4 years, she actually, have you seen the jihad she went on social media? Like on Twitter, she's like critiquing, like,
Yes, those are
like,
so funny.
like the social media posts. And I'm like thinking, yeah, it's Cracker Jacks, right? I mean, California in and of itself went 40%. Look at this map in 2024.
Yeah.
But they went 40% of the counties went for Trump this time around. Do you know what'll happen the next time if California continues to leak into the super lefty stuff, and which again, Governor Goodyear is dedicated to doing. I mean, douche is going to try to like excommunicate himself from the United States in the near future.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the reason why a lot of those counties start flipping red is we've seen what's been going on in California, the rise in crime. Gavin Newsom being a clueless idiot. I don't understand how this is happening. It's like, because of your policies, you idiot. I mean, it's. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say. I mean, when you look at where the red is, that's agriculture. I mean,
it's the rural areas.
They sit there and they talk about California having everything there: mountains, deserts, valleys, ocean. You talk about everything that can happen in California. I mean, literally, California would be cut off, and they are their own little country, like we are here. That area, that San Joaquin Valley, is the flyover that you get here in the country, and that's where you have the hard working farmers, and you look at all the agricultural crap that they have to deal with because of all the bureaucracy, and we're trying to do things better and whatever. And it's nice to see that is getting bigger. The red, it's just not big enough to chop off the coast.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well,
I'm looking for that big earthquake.
In a lot of ways, it's the same thing that's been happening here in Texas with our border counties, right? Because all those start flipping red. I mean, a lot because of the immigration issue, and there's a lot of issues that are being ignored in California. We've seen what's been going on in was it in North Carolina, and the fact that you had the FEMA being told to skip houses with Trump signs and all this stuff. And I think your average American is sick of being treated like garbage by its government. And this is a massive, I'm not gonna say consumer revolt. I mean, you could say it's a political one, but it's also a consumer revolt because of all the stuff that's being pushed by by the government along with the large corporations. So this is a huge FU to the system.
Yeah, I mean, a huge FU to the system was the over 25% drop in monitoring what was happening in the election on the mainstream. I mean, again, it's one of the things I said in the monologue, but it's true. Nobody believes them anymore.
Right.
The mouthpiece of the government is.
Jason, didn't you have that thing that I sent you the other night with John Leguizamo?
We're not talking about Wicked.com anymore. That was this last story.
Yeah. John, I don't know if anybody saw this. John Leguizamo dressed up in disguise to interview Hispanics post-election.
No, this
was it before?
It
was
before
the election,
and they were curious about Trump, but they were still undecided.
That's right, and he was asking about it, and their answers were basically along the lines of, we're leaning toward Trump, we're interested, we're curious about Trump because border security, the immigration thing was the biggest concern because you got these people.
The rules.
Yeah, they all did the thing they were supposed to do.
Well, anyone who came to this country legally should be pissed off.
Oh yeah.
At what is going on with illegal immigration right now. I mean, absolutely.
And that's why Miami-Dade flipped.
Well, and they talk about the crime that's happening and that their daughters and their wives don't feel safe. But the fact that when mainstream media is pointing out that, with crime and immigrants that are illegal and this and that, they're like, they're stereotyping they're making us who are completely legit look like the bad guys.
Yeah.
And no matter how much Ligazamos is sitting there and trying, and you go back to, these celebrities who are endorsing, well, what about this? This person said it. This person, like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, well, okay. So there's a few. What I saw in this election and stuff that's going on, and what I see happening in California is it's happening the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
The national issues, so the things that the federal government is supposed to do, it was not doing. And that caused, the protecting the borders, right? Not going out, starting wars, all those kind of things and stuff, right? All those things that the federal government is supposed to do, it wasn't doing.
No.
It was overstepping and doing things that are supposed to be given the states are supposed to do, your state and local government. The way that this government is supposed to work, very few things in the federal government. We all say, okay, we all need to be able to defend ourselves as a country. We get that. But all these social issues and everything, I don't think that there are certain social questions that should never be asked of a national race. Okay? You never ask a president, in my opinion, you should never ask a president about his or her position on abortion. Why? Because that's a state issue. And you don't even ask your senator or your federal representative. That's not their job. That is the job of your state representative, your state senator, and your governor. Okay? You ask them that question. That's how this is supposed to work. And if you look at how the voting things went, it went along those lines. Nationally, did abortion play a big part in this election? Not really.
No, it didn't.
Locally, yes, it did. Why? Because it's a local issue now. So the Republicans have lost this wedge issue that was national that they'd be able to carry across the country. They can't use it anymore.
Well, the talks also, the same thing goes for the Democrats as well.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Democrats, 72% of people in the country, from all pollsters on either side, don't care about the issue.
Yep.
Right? So,
and those,
go ahead. No, please go ahead.
You were in the middle.
Okay. So it's not a voting issue for them, especially on a national stage. So it's a local issue, right? We can all have our opinions. We can all say when life begins and all this stuff. We can have these things, and some people, it's true. They say this is the truth for this. This is this, whatever. All of those discussions you can have. But if you can't protect the border and you can't protect the people, there's no reason for you to be around. From there, that's the base job. And you're finding a lot of companies are failing. Why? Because they're not doing their base job. Disney's base job was making content for children.
Families.
And they did a very good job of bilking parents for billions. And then they decided, well, we want to get into the boy market. Then they grabbed Star Wars and all that stuff and made it not about boys.
Yeah.
Because
and Marvel.
That's not what they should have done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Look, in talks, here's the thing. Mallory, obviously, Justine Bateman, Mallory from Family Ties, has basically said the following. I have found the last 4 years to be an almost intolerable period, a very un-American period in that any questioning, any opinions, any likes or dislikes were held up to a very limited list of permitted positions in order to assess acceptability. And she's right.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's calling it out and her, I think Jason and Mindy have also pointed out, her critiques of the terrible, overly emotional bologna sausage videos that might include some of these 4B ladies, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, were hysterically funny. She did a great job in her critiquing. And the fact that she, what's the term loosely put, does not give a flip about the consequences because she's not married to Hollywood.
Well,
the same
and
way everybody else is.
I think this also comes out of the last year where she has been banging the drum on AI with regard to the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, and the various protections that she's been saying need to be in place for for actors and writers and producers and whatnot, because she's been sitting there going, during the strikes, this was a big thing for her, because AI was one of the big talking points for both the Writers Guild and the actors, and then again in the animated stuff, where she was basically saying, look, you guys need to have stronger protections in place, because the industry is going to sit there and use AI and replace you all. Is going to replace the writers, is going to replace the cinematographers and the concept artists and all of that, and eventually we'll replace the actors. We don't need you anymore. We have your likeness. We can just make you do whatever it is that we want to do and just do it in the computer. And then when Zach Levi came out and said, hey, it's now or never, it's go time for you conservatives to come out and say something, because why should you be afraid of an industry that's about to be gone? And I think he's even said something, because the AI, yeah, he says it's a useful tool and he'll probably use it, but AI is going to destroy Hollywood. And I think the reactions to that, in addition to the country basically being mostly red and overwhelmingly electing Trump, gave Justine Bateman the final, this is justified. Okay, I don't have anything to lose now, because she's pretty much isolated herself from Hollywood anyway. She's a producer and a director and a writer, but she's indie. She's not Hollywood, and she's sitting there sounding the alarm and basically being ignored. And they go off and they do their thing anyway. And she's like, fine, whatever. It's your funeral. So I don't think I think she's at a point where she's like, I got nothing to lose because I didn't have anything to start with.
The first thing that I saw from media or anything saying, okay, outside of the normal players, Sticker Mule, who we've used to buy stuff from, came out and said, you know what, we can't deal with this anymore. And we're doing this. We're coming out. We're voting for Trump. Everybody should. Because let's face it, what was coming out of one side was actual fascism.
Absolutely. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now that it's got happened this way, and I think what's emboldening actors that have been, as she said, walking around on eggshells, and some of us at work have been walking around on eggshells, having to take what people say and not being able to respond. It's the popular vote win. If it had been a electoral college win without the popular vote, they would have hung on to that.
Yeah, they would have. I agree, Talks.
I think they really expected that to happen. It didn't, because the only places where there's been shenanigans is Nevada and Arizona. And those have only been in the Senate races. So there's some questions and stuff that are going to happen out of that. But Trump's big move was to get his stepdaughter in charge of the RNC, or then go and have people on the ground to stop all this from happening. So when that happened, you had the actual vote, and we all kind of know what happened in 2020 now, just looking at the numbers.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what's happening in Arizona, is there seems to be more votes cast than actual registered Democrats.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Saying for that, yeah. So
Arizona has a lot to account for over the course of the next few weeks. I have a feeling a lot of people, including the current or outgoing, I should say, a recorder, the guy that's the person that's in charge of the election, is probably going to find a prison cell. I have a feeling that there's a lot going on that, and
you know what?
Katie Hobbs will even have to answer for.
If Kamala Harris had actually won in a fair election, I would have to deal with those results.
Yeah, everybody would.
Yeah,
right.
That's the difference between.
That's the thing. It is right.
Well,
Bill Clinton won. He was not my candidate by far. I knew way too much about him and his wife at that time and everything that was going on in Arkansas. I know nothing. I have no dirt on the Clintons.
Oh, yeah, careful.
Absolutely none. But
yeah, because you don't want to get Arkansas.
him winning, I didn't like that. But his policies were more like Trump policies now, right back then. So it turned out to be all right. Thank God for the internet boom to make him look better, more present than he actually was. But yeah, so I had to deal with that for 8 years. I had to deal with 8 years of Obama. And he's probably one of the, from a freedom standpoint, one of the worst presidents ever. You got Wilson, you've got FDR, you've got LBJ, and probably Obama. Those are probably the worst 4 presidents that we've had.
Yeah. Well,
from a freedom standpoint.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Obama house at this.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now.
Right?
I would. Love
but you know what? You don't want to be a cook in the Obama house.
No, you don't. Especially one that Obama's interested in. Look, I'm going to tell you that it's. Thank you. I think it's fascinating with FDR just how fudged up he actually was and what he did to the country. I think most people don't realize that his planned and permanent entitlements have created a giant black hole from which we continue to have to dig ourselves out from.
Well, there's a lot of question whether what anything he did got us out of the Depression.
No, he did not.
War.
Yeah, it didn't.
No, it was the war.
Oh, we just lost the great and powerful sci-fi for me TV.
So
go ahead.
I went ahead and shared the sketch or the opening sketch from Saturday Night Live. If you want to pull that up, we don't need to watch the full thing. It's like almost 5 minutes long, but just to kind of illustrate.
What this will be fun. Let's see if we get pulled down. This will be a good time.
All right.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
So the hubris.
Yes.
The hubris that they think Donald Trump gives a rat's ass about SNL.
Yeah.
All right. Is hilarious. He does not give a shit about any of them.
No, not in the slightest.
He's going in to drain the swamp. And I didn't think he was going to. He's got 2 years. And he needs to go in there and wipe it out.
Yeah. Because
everyone saw how unfair that was. Letitia James, she needs to be concerned.
Oh, Letitia?
Yeah, whatever. And what's her name down in Georgia? She needs to be concerned because when there's an actual fair DOJ in town, Smith, the guy, the special prosecutor, would have milked this all the way through as opposed to just shutting it off if he was not exposed and criminally liable for something.
Oh, he's host.
Right.
If they want to pursue him, he's done. And maybe he has to be pursued that way to get Letitia and the big Fanny.
There's even talk of that judgment that they had against him and all that stuff for reversing all of those.
It has to be.
All that stuff can get overturned. But going back to this, Tox, you're 100% right. He doesn't. I mean, this shows you the depths of the TDS that they are. I don't know if this is really sincere or they're actually just trying to make a joke. Trump doesn't care about SNL. He doesn't care if they're roasting him or not. That's not the issue. Maybe they actually do believe that he'll be coming for them. I don't know, because how many times in The View do we see this? They're going to be coming for us. They're coming for the media. They're coming for blah, blah, blah.
Believe in the country. Well, Richard Gere, but yeah.
But the fact that they actually did this where they're like pretending to be supportive of Donald Trump. I don't think they would have done that back in 2015 or 2016.
No, they wouldn't have. They're doing this because they actually did not think Donald Trump would win.
Yep.
Because they believed everything hook, line, and sinker that they were being told in NBC studios from these people who just TDS themselves into being incompetent. They believed all that. This is the only thing they could come up with.
Yep.
The only thing. And it's not funny.
No, I mean, there is a bit where they throw like the interns on the bus. So that was a bit funny. But I mean, this whole thing, for the most part, is pretty lame.
Yeah, throwing interns under the bus is always funny.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, no, I haven't seen it. They have not been relevant. The only thing that I watch out of here is the Weekend Update. Whenever they make Colin Yost read racist stuff,
yes.
That's hilarious. But
and
this,
again, that's the only time anybody watches anything is in the clip form on YouTube. That's the problem with this
that's
show.
the point. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
old media.
Yeah.
And but hubris is all we get out of here.
Yeah. Well, you know.
You want to? Yeah. If there's more to it, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, all I was going to say is that, this is Justine Bateman's whole point is this shit.
Yep. They're trying to pretend like they're the rest of the country relating to Donald Trump. People aren't like, oh, I see myself on Donald Trump. No, I mean, if that's the reason why you vote for a candidate, that's like the most wrong reason to vote for somebody. You vote for policies that the person supports, not because you see yourself in that candidate. This is the same garbage we've been seeing with, oh, I see myself. I need to see myself on television. It's like, you don't need to see yourself. All you need to do is be able to relate to the character. And this is like one of the biggest lessons that Hollywood needs to relearn, is that you don't see yourself in a character. What makes it powerful is being able to relate to them, their struggle, and what is going on in that character's life and the adventure that they're going on. That's this is.
You mean how disgusting they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toxic muted, by the way.
Yeah. So, they thank you. They mentioned I voted 80 times or whatever in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
The person that went to Pennsylvania, I did not know this. Okay. The person that went to Pennsylvania and fought and flipped Bucks County for Donald Trump, Scott Pressler.
Yeah. Pressler. He's gay.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea.
No, you couldn't tell by the way he talked.
I had no idea. Well, it's never been a concern for me.
I know.
I don't care.
I honestly, I don't give a shit.
Exactly. I don't. And I had no idea. So here she's saying this, and she's now throwing shade on a group that's supposedly on her side.
Yeah. Oh, no.
She should be supporting. I'm like, oh, no, wait. Then it's all just wrong think. And the spin afterwards is, oh, it's the misogynist stuff with the Latinos and all this other stuff and everything. I saw a tweet right after, say, a Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Somebody, I can't remember who it was. And it goes, I dare you, call us Latinx one more time.
Yep.
And I was like, yep, that's what it is.
But that's how they feel. They look, I mean, you talk to Paulie. Talk to Paulie. Paulie will lose his stuff on
he
you.
hates it.
Yeah. And I mean, he's celebrating. Mexican Iron Man celebrating. All of our friends who seem to be, Latino of Hispanic descent.
Well,
celebrating right now. 45%.
Mexican Iron Man's a YouTuber. I don't know if that makes him.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, right.
But 45% of Latinos went to Trump. That's not good. They're telling you something.
No, I mean, it's good for us. I mean, it's good for the country.
No, but it was good for the country. I'm glad you said that, Comix, because that's what it is. It's not. I didn't vote for Donald Trump because I like the guy. I really don't. I don't think he's serious. No. If I had a conversation with him, it's him as Donald Trump was. I was fine with that. Him coming in as president, make America great again, all that stuff and everything. Okay, it was good that. And you can tell in the first one he didn't expect to win, because if he had done in 2016 what he had done now with his own transition team, paying for it himself, not taking any of the swamp creatures that are there, and he's got some woman I never even heard of to be his chief of staff.
Oh, you mean the Ice Baby?
Yeah, I don't know who she is, but at the same time,
she's a woman chief of staff. And
I had no idea that they hadn't had a female chief of staff.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the first female chief of staff. Yeah. Considering that the left is always about the first, obviously they're not going to point that out.
Yeah, I mean,
so with his very first official action, he's slapping them in the face with their own ideology.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. But I hope he's got 2 years. I hope he goes in and cleans this stuff up, and it will make life better for these people on the screen here who have no clue what they're doing. They don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, they kind of end it with like this muscle Trump thing. Like I said, the rest of the sketch is actually pretty lame.
Yeah,
I mean,
look, and understand that it's the Republicans that always try to be bipartisan, going all the way back to one of the first female first ladies that really drove that home, Dolly Madison. And look, it's the conversation pieces never line up with the people on the left who have a terrible track record, including basically the clam bake, which was all of the Democrats dressed in their wonderful Ku Klux Klan gear. Okay? Let's just be honest about this stuff. Because I'm going to tell you right now, none of these dumb truckers are going to do it. They don't even know. They're that dumb that they don't understand that that Democrats, I was careful there, had to stop myself, but that the Democrats have always been the enslavement party in any form that they can get it. That's what they do. It's the truth.
Dramatic pause.
Hopefully, I would really love for Saturday Night Live to be funny again.
Oh, no.
In all seriousness, make Saturday Night Live funny again.
They can't. It's only in clips. If they miraculously get through this year and the next and complete their 50th year, they should probably just call it done. Because they got nothing left. This is like...
This whole thing is criminally unfunny. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah. I just feel like we've been robbed of humor.
Oh, we have. Absolutely.
For a long time.
That's one of the things that we know that authoritarians and totalitarians don't like humor because they don't like to be mocked. And it's typically the first casualty.
I think that may be one of the reasons why Rob Schneider got to be so vocal.
Oh, he's done with it. He's like, look, and then you see a tool bag. Oh, first of all, Will Ferrell, he's only been funny occasionally, and
I never really found him to be funny, to be honest with you.
Well, no, it's a small spurts. But most recently, and this is the next thing we're going to cover, what you just pulled up here. It's in the next segment. But
oops,
yeah, it's fine. But what's fascinating is he's unfunny, and now he's just disclosed to the world just how limited his talents are. His political analysis is garbage, and his grasp on reality is complete trash. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to give this guy another dollar. This is the weirdest thing. These people don't understand when you align politically with anything, you've halved your audience at minimum. And that's across the board. Disney is just now coming to grips with this fact, which is why Iger's going to run like a scared little puppy, from the job he has now. Because this next quarterly, which we're coming up on this week, and is why I'm going to basically talk once a day this week about Disney investors. Why are you still invested in Disney? That's going to be this week's theme. And I don't care what the numbers come out to be. They're all gerrymandered anyway, worse so than like the state of California is politically. But it's nobody can take any reality from that because Disney's losing money across the board, including, an opportunity at profit in theme parks, which they're going to drop another 30% by the end of next year. Why? Because the folks down I-4 in Florida are going to kick their ass.
Oh yeah, Universal's got it going on.
Yeah, that's going to be a big.
Oh hey, real quick. So for $2, Eric K. Comix Division, I don't know. I could see myself in Anna Paulina Luna. There you go.
Indeed.
Especially with his barbecued meat.
Oh boy, dude knows how to.
Dude knows meat.
He does. He knows how to use meat.
He knows meat and sauce.
And sauce.
He's got a special sauce.
And if anyone knows how to abuse that meat, it's Toxic Man Flu.
That's right, because I get abused with meat all the time. In fact, I'm surprised I'm still alive, given some of the stuff I've said tonight. But it is what it is.
Doesn't throw anything at you tonight?
And look, a fellow libertarian in the chat, Koyuki Ayara, says, as a California resident and libertarian, especially with this current governor, it doesn't matter what you vote on if you aren't towing the party line. as the gas increase indicates. Yeah, you guys got crushed today.
Oh, what happened?
The gas jumped because he's trying to, enforce this incredibly radical green ideology that nobody there wants. It's going to destroy even more businesses. Look, the oil companies are leaving, you dumb fuck. Sorry, I don't normally curse, but this is a moment where I say you're destroying more of your economy.
Well, I mean, California is a state in decline, and it's going to continue to be a state in decline until they actually get rid of the current governor and replace him with somebody who actually cares about the state.
Look, they had the biggest rightward shift since I think the Schwarzenegger, right? The governor, and that dude turned into a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of hard to see coming from the fact that I did vote for him.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
And saw how well it was.
My California friends did. What they didn't understand is that he got turned sideways, and the only way to survive after fucking the maid was to go extremely leftist.
Well, that's what they always do when they get caught.
Yeah.
Well, you know who's at the Diddy parties now?
I was going to say, where is Newsom going to get more hair gel now that Diddy's in jail?
Hey, look,
I don't know.
Where's he going to get more hair gel? Outlawing the oil industry. What a piece of shit.
Was it Graham was saying before the show that, or somebody else, that Han Solo got $7 million. Harrison Ford got $7 million for that ad.
Did he really? I have not heard that. It doesn't surprise. I know he got paid.
And I saw somewhere that Alanis Morissette's check did not clear.
Oh, hey, dude.
Yeah, checks are bouncing left and right.
Oprah's cleared. Oprah's cleared. It was $1 million. She got paid. She showed up for Kamala because she supported the, craziness out of her for $1 million. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. If somebody gives me $1 million, actually, I'm too principled. Damn it.
I'm not.
Okay.
If they'd have offered me $6 million to come out and say, I'm voting for Kamala Harris and you should too, I would get the $6 million and say, I'm voting for Kamala Harris and you should too.
Wink, wink.
And then come on and then immediately go out and say, no, I'm not.
I got paid. And I
got paid for this.
We had influencers come out and expose that bologna sausage, right?
No,
Mr. Tickle Truck will do it for $1 million, and he's in Canada.
The best way of handling that is that, yes, I support Kamala Harris, and I was paid to say this.
That's right.
This is a paid advertisement.
That is the best way of doing it. I'm for Kamala Harris, and this is a paid advertisement.
And that's what you say. I am so getting paid for this, and that's Kamala paid Oprah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Maybe not Avril.
Paid, not laid. All right.
Paid.
Yes.
Paid.
Mr. Chickle Trunk, is that 1 million US or Canadian?
Oh gosh, yeah, because that's a major discount if it's Canadian. Huge.
Yeah. Comix has the best one. We don't quite know what one he's talking about, but we'll do it.
Both inches. Okay, we've got
Wait a second. Your neighbor won $1 million from Elon. Oh
yes!
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, dude, and that
nice.
Josh Shapiro piece of shit who's still trying to fuck with the Senate race. He's a piece of garbage. And well, I think maybe anyway, he's a douche. He's still was
Tickle Drunk doesn't care. Either one.
He still was sad because he got slapped down on trying to sue Elon for giving away money. What a douchebag.
Well, see, they can't do that because it wasn't for a political campaign. It was to sign a petition.
Yeah.
Or to uphold the First Amendment.
Yeah. So
11 Alpha says that Mr. Tickle Trunk should take it in 1 million Vietnamese dong.
Oh, I have that in my pocket.
And Mr. Tickle Trunk's penis talks penis. So yeah, so he's all over the dong. You know?
He loves dong.
Obviously from there. Tickle Trunk miss you, buddy.
Yeah. I still have to interview you, you crazy man. All right. So we have more stories to get to. I feel like we've been here for an hour and 53
We haven't even done commercial spot number 2 yet.
Oh, God, really?
You got some supers we got to do when we get back. All right. Commercial break it is.
It's so sweet and creamy, it feels like a dairy dream come true. Hand
packed for your pleasure. It's Bull's Milk Ice Cream. Take a taste, it's so sweet and creamy. It feels like a dairy dream come true. Hand-packed for your pleasure, it's Bull's Milk Ice Cream. Bull's Milk Ice Cream, it's a dairy dream. Exploders in your mouth, it will make you shout. Bull's Milk Ice Cream, answering the question, do you spit or swallow?
Yes. Acolyte, baby. Oh, wait. No. That thing is better than Grandpa's fist. I mean, hey, everybody. We've got the mainstream media still trying to kill your free speech. Don't believe me? Well, they talk about it. Most recently, after being defeated at the polls, they hate the fact that you're allowed to talk about whatever you want, whenever you want. And they really hate the fact that I exist. Well, and everybody else here as well. They actually hate that you're watching me right now, and I feel proud about that. I hope everybody else is proud. Tox, are you proud that they hate you?
I don't think that the View hates me specifically because I'm adorable. And all my opinions are
they hate you because you're a Native American descent and you disagree with them. You are a race.
I'm Native American, German, Welsh, French, and something else.
Mostly, I don't care about that. There's the Native American.
Multiple American Native Americans. All it means is that my ancestors got busy and didn't care.
And they also got beaten like redheaded stepchildren during wars. But it's fine.
That's true. That's fine. Big
Yeah,
white.
well, and you really enjoyed those blankets, I hear. Anyway, all right.
There it is. Hi-oh.
Hey, there it is.
Too soon? It's only been a couple of 100 years.
Yeah, we're fine.
Oh, shoot. I hit a button too soon.
No. It's perfectly fine. We've got this amazing piece of video.
Got some super chats, too.
You know what? Let's super chat it up and ignore the people that are above me because, well.
Screw all them. Did you get Darius's?
A bunch of assholes anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
What was that website again?
Wicked.com.
All right. So, Dearest for 2, Culture Casino Cash says, is the Folsom Prison Shank endorsed by Gary? You know, we'll get there. It'll be fine. Shank Crate. Yeah, Shank Crate. Shank Crate, I think is sponsored by Folsom, and Gary, I think, appreciates it. I'm just
kidding. Gary sharpened a few of them. He used to work for us.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And license plates. Inebriated Plutarch for 5, Culture Casino Cash says the 2016 election night skit with Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock is a classic. Yeah, back when they
actually was pretty funny.
And that's been circulating again too.
Yeah. Which actually is funny versus the bologna sausage I was forced to watch a moment ago. But I'm going to tell you right now, nothing's funnier than the people that are protesting your free speech, which we'll get to in just a moment. For 5 Culture Casino Cash from the great and powerful Rumble, we get a rant saying, how about Grace Randolph? Her video, Midnight's Edge, showed clearly we see she isn't clueless, just going along. Yeah, no, we know. She's very analytical and intelligent. We also know that, which is why it's amazing she acts like an airheaded douche. You do not explain things succinctly only days after the election. Well, I mean, I do, but I mean, she's not as silly as she seems, and she is more than happy to take that Marvel, Disney, and other, compromised entertainment entity money whenever she can.
I honestly think she's probably just been licking her finger, sticking it up in the air, and seeing which way the wind blows.
Well, I think the other part of it too. This goes back to Justine Bateman and Rob Schneider and Zachary Levi. And hey, there's an election and there's a mandate and the popular vote and the electoral vote, and now people feel maybe safer
Yeah.
that they can say something.
Yeah.
But it really, I saw Midnight's Edge video.
Yeah, it's a good video.
She does come across as being one of these, because we're seeing it all over Reddit too.
Yeah.
Right? The people who are looking at these charts and looking at the numbers like, wait a minute, where are all these 20 million? Did we actually do what they said we did in 2020?
No,
the light bulbs are starting to go off. They're like, hey, wait a minute. And that's a good thing. When people start to realize that the conspiracy theory is not actually conspiracy theory, then I think we're going to make some progress.
Well, I mean, look, nobody's been able to account for it. What I am disappointed about is Jim Jordan and his lack of emphasis and analytical prowess when it came to being questioned, about the previous election. All he had to say was, where did the 15 million votes go that were extra last time?
Yep.
He didn't. And so I feel like that's a swing and a miss on his part. And I think he probably realizes that now. But
unless there was a reason why he didn't. Not saying that there is. I'm just saying, politics being what it is.
Look, I'm looking at something that I am unhappy about, which is the current leadership election prior to when it should be taking place, before the next Congress actually meets, putting in place a complete douchebag. You have two douches and one quality candidate in Scott, and one of the two douches is going to win. And you know what I would do at that point? I would look for every piece of dirty laundry you can find on him and expose it on day one if I were Trump. I would put that guy so deep in the ground and in so much of a defensive position that he would have no choice but to step aside for Mr. Scott. Entirely other conversation, not pertinent to what we're talking about here, but I'll just say this. Grace Randolph was never as dumb as we thought she was. She just was protecting her opportunity to make money, which makes
she used to have good takes before everything went insane. Because I used to watch her channel, prior to the 2016 election, and she did have good analysis. To be honest with you, it wasn't until recently where it's like, okay, you just became annoying.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's, beyond the douchiness is what she should call her channel, her one of her
That's funny.
segments.
I think she will probably course correct.
She better, or she will be more irrelevant than she'd become in the last year and a half.
Well, the fact that she sat there and said, I wonder how small the bubble actually is.
Oh,
she's already starting to analyze. She's got a pretty good analytic.
Well, the things she's wrong on, though, is that Hollywood and the progressives were in a bubble. The rest of the world is not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why she started to get attacked by the people who, used to support her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because she was just that dumb.
She'll get there.
Yeah. Speaking of getting there, we've got I think a couple.
Shea said this 3 times, or at least that's what came up at 3 times. So if you did $15 and it's let us know.
Yeah,
okay?
double check, bro.
Rumble looks like it's real glitchy tonight.
It is glitchy. Yeah,
could be.
On our fan funding side, it doesn't say that. But J-O-Nays for 5. Culture Casino Cash says, what if the plan is to have Gavin Newsom run in 2028? Well,
I'm sure it probably is.
They can, except that he's going to look like the most out-of-touch human in the world if he goes to the extreme climate side of things.
It could be Shapiro as running for president and Gavin Newsom as the VP.
Yeah, it still won't matter. Shapiro,
do you think that guy could ever be second fiddle?
All they have to do for Shapiro is run the photograph of him signing the bomb.
Yeah,
and he's done.
Yeah, he's a giant piece of ass at that point. Actually, he's currently a giant piece of ass, so I guess, it's pretty easy to say giant piece of ass. Anyway.
You just said it 3 times.
I know. Yeah.
J&A's, thank you for the $5.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
And, talking about the giant piece of ass. Okay, let's go. We got Sassy Southern Belle. Greetings here for 2 Culture Casino Cash from the Green Machine. Looks like Adina and Cheno are making cameos in Wicked. Boo.
Is that Adina Menzel and somebody else?
And Chenoweth, who was original. Yeah.
I was excited for a second. I thought you said Paul Chato.
No, he's not. That'd be great. But
I could see him in there.
Will the songs and the acting be good enough for member berries for normie women? No. should have made the movie the 10 years ago. I agree with Adina and Chenoweth.
Yeah.
Well, Chenoweth is cute as a bug's nose. I mean, if you've ever seen her, she's this cute little tiny blonde. She's like 3.5 feet tall.
Well, they brought the original
And
cast back for Rent when they made the movie, didn't they?
I don't care.
I don't know. I don't.
I thought they did.
Maybe. Although Paul
I like
Chano would do pretty well as the Lollipop Guild, I think.
He is the lollipop.
It's fine.
Yes.
I mean, he was great as an Ewok. So there's that.
He
All right.
was.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, thank you, Sassy. You're amazing. And again from Sassy for $2 more says Justine is also anti-plastic surgery and aging naturally. Yes, she is, and she's beautiful. Still, I'm just saying.
It's very okay. That was very aggressive.
It was. All right, all. Gotta go to bed. Well, I'm sorry,
Night, people.
Thank you for the $2. Hail chat and panel. Good night, YouTube, X, and Grumble chats. Remember to run to the bank ASAP if you got a DNC check.
Right.
Good Lord. Hit the like button and check out Beach Punk. That's right. Tox is it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, whatever. Spider-Man sucks.
You know what? I are gonna have to have a talk
about what?
Won't do you any
You
good.
can't change my opinion.
But this channel is pro Spider-Man.
You can be pro Spider-Man all you want to.
This
Spider-Man still sucks.
You suck.
I-
Anyway, can we actually? Is there anything else? Oh, okay. For 5 from Eric K. Lucky Kamala and Waltz have the fallback plan. Stallion Milk Farm, taken by and taken by and mouth straight from the source. Well, yeah, that seems wow, very specific.
Stallion Milk Farm. That's pretty damn funny.
It is, yeah. No, it's not as good as Bull's Milk ice cream, but it's fine.
Well, it's because we know Brahma and we think it's funny.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, we know it's milked from the source. There,
Stallion Milk Farms. You would get Brie Larson and what's her name from Sex and the City, Joy Behar. I mean, that's that's what you're talking about, right? Oh no, that's
Yeah, I hear you. Man. And finally, for 2 Culture Casino cash, the lovely and amazing Ruby Hoove is giving me a Shiba dog shaking their booty from left to right. That's right. That's called Fart and Hearts, kids, and I appreciate it very much. One of my favorite super stickers. In fact, the favorite super sticker of the channel. On that note, Tox, let's get to this video I've pulled up that apparently...
One that's on the screen that you were in control of?
Yeah, and we are going to talk about this. The limitation of your free speech, courtesy of
Eric clarified.
Mega Douche Canoes like Van Jones.
$2 by hand and mouth straight from the source. I like that. That's what he's
okay, that actually adds gross to the conversation, but we'll keep on.
Trunk thought it was funny.
Very squicky there.
I guess Tickle Trunk got done with all those dongs.
Hey, speaking of gross, Van Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's hear what he says.
I think in a normal country, we would say, hold on a second, maybe we need to have a different set of regulations for social media platforms now they're this big.
It would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politic. We don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction.
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
I think in a normal country, we would say, hold on a second, maybe we need to have a different set of regulations.
All right, so that's just going to repeat. And this is courtesy of Mr. Rubin, who's a gay man, by the way. I think
Dave Rubin.
Yeah, and I think he makes a great point here by showing us this. They don't like free speech.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that's funny about it. The fact that they don't realize that this is all free speech.
Yeah.
Again, it's all about controlling the narrative. That's what they want.
Yeah. Well,
the reason why we have Trump elected for a second time is because, first off, Elon bought Twitter.
Yeah.
It showed the cracks in the armor of the narrative at that point. He exposed the government shenanigans that was happening at Twitter. We know that this is happening throughout the rest of big tech, YouTube, Facebook, etc. And yeah, I mean, I definitely believe that Elon buying Twitter is a contributing factor to getting Trump reelected, and the fact that it is a reinforcing the bulwark of free speech. And it's something that the government doesn't want. It's the reason why they were pushing the disinformation board. It's the reason why we have all these articles from Reclaim the Net about, sorry, let me clarify because it sounded like I said neck. Reclaim the Net.
Right.
All these articles about how they are trying to push laws about disinformation, misinformation, blah, blah, blah. Misinformation, disinformation is free speech. Okay.
Every part of speech.
You are allowed to lie. The only thing you're not allowed to do is threaten somebody.
Yeah.
It's funny. Right in the middle of that, you've got that one guy who's talking about we don't have a Joe Rogan and stuff, and it brings to mind.
You did.
When was this? 90?
Oh, are you going to talk about are you going to talk about the equal bullshit thing?
No. Al Gore put together an entire radio network.
Air America.
Air America. They were trying this all the way back to counter Rush.
Yeah.
Right.
And we need our own Rush Limbaugh. And Al Franken had a show and it failed.
Gene Garofalo, who was funny.
All of them.
Had a show.
Well, that's the funny thing about it.
Do that.
You're right. They were trying to counter talk radio, which very much leaned conservative.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is they talk about, why don't we have a Joe Rogan? It's like you did.
It was Joe Rogan, you dumb fucks.
They also said, why don't you have a Tim Pool? You did.
You did.
Tim Pool.
Well,
and it's the hubris, and they just don't get it.
What's funny is back then you had Alan Combs.
Yes.
And Alan Combs.
Tragic.
And
Rest in peace.
He was probably the closest, the most successful out of all of those voices.
Yes.
And it was only because he was up there as a counterpoint to Hannity, and you had that back and forth dynamic.
When they shut that show down and he went somewhere else, it didn't work.
Yeah, and they were friends. That's the weird thing, right? It's the same thing with Ruth Bader Ginsburg was friends with
Scalia.
And
very good friends.
And they were great friends. This is the thing that's missing from politics now is like you can have a disagreement and you can see each other's side of things. In fact, that's really important, by the way. You have to be able to see an argument from the other side in order to understand it better and reinform your point of view.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen now because they're terrified that their ideas are supported by nothing. Hot air.
One thing I want to bring up Al Franken because I know he got mentioned previously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in case you don't know, Al Franken wrote a book back in the 90s called Rush Limbaugh is a Big Fat Idiot. Yeah. And one of the things that actually got me to like Rush Limbaugh, because at the time I didn't, is I read Al Franken's book. And I thought he was going to go over points talking about why Rush Limbaugh was wrong. And all he was doing was mocking him in the book. And this is like one of the, and again, this is back in the early 90s. This is one of the examples that the shit that we've been seeing has been going on for ages. I highly do recommend reading the book because it does give you a really interesting perspective and insight on the attitudes of the left.
Well, and I would also recommend a couple of others because Rush did 3 books himself. See, I Told You So, and I don't remember the other 2. I think I've got all 3 of them in my library. But I also would say to read The Art of the Deal from Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really want to understand it, there's the basics right there. And that's from all the way back before he was ever thinking about politics, before he did The Apprentice or any of that. Because the left doesn't understand us, doesn't understand the constituents, doesn't understand the voters. I can't remember where I saw it, but some talking head somewhere, I think it was on Newsmax, was talking about, election night, was doing post-game analysis and was saying that the Democrats cannot communicate with people that don't agree with them because they don't understand the people that don't agree with them.
Well, what they believe is a caricature, right?
Yeah.
They believe in this caricature of the right and that's kind of the problem.
Well, it's the conversation that we've been having for a long time.
Yeah.
In that they don't take the time to understand the other side. They believe the stereotypes and they project that onto everybody, which they just did with African Americans and Latinos. They just projected racism and misogyny onto groups that are tired of being passed over by the people who profess their love and desire to help those particular groups, because they see that they're undermining them at every single turn. You don't understand. It doesn't take much to explain to anybody what's happening because they can see it. They are telling you the emperor is wearing amazing new clothes, and everybody else looking at him goes, that's complete bullshit.
He's pooping in his pants.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
it's been this way forever since the country started, right?
20 years.
Well, if
20
you look
years.
at the maps, right, there's all the rural areas, and then there's the cities, right?
Yeah, that's just been going on forever.
That's been going on forever. So the people in the cities are at disadvantage to understand how people who don't live in the cities or live more suburbs, stuff like that, how they think, what affects them, because they live in the city.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Now, the reverse is not true. The reverse, people who are in the farms and all this stuff and everything can understand the people that live in the city.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Because they see how far from reality they are.
They are. Yeah.
Right. So when you are, how many of us have ever slaughtered an animal to eat it? Right. So some of us know how to dress deer, get it, all this stuff from there.
Well, I mean,
but
do fish count? I mean, I've done that.
Yeah, fish do count. Yeah. Fish do count. You got to gut a fish and do all that. And you got to get the bones out and everything from there. Right. It takes a lot to bring food to your table.
Yeah.
They've just hidden it from there. And they've done that in the city life. They've done that everywhere with everything.
Well, and that's why people who see it happen, who have no adjustment for reality, are turning into vegan what's-nots that end up malnourished and, like basically unable to process information.
Right. But as a civil libertarian, they are, I believe that they should be able to live their life the way that they want to.
Yeah.
Right. There are certain things that, okay, all right, now that's abuse, but we've got to define what those things are as a country. And I think 2/3 majority on those kind of votes and things like that.
Always.
Because it's very obvious when that stuff happens. 52%, 54%, that doesn't work. You got to have 2/3, right?
Yeah.
When you've set something in stone that you're going to I think that's child abuse.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I just want to establish that. But if you want to believe that way, if you want to be Amish, be Amish.
Be Amish. Oh, by the way, they kicked ass in the election.
180,000 people.
It's because their way of life was literally unattacked for the last 4 years. I mean, just look at, I mean, when we had Southern Bell on, we're talking about how the FDA, the FDA was coming in and basically taking away their livelihood. I mean, it's just completely insane. And so, I mean, you had the whole thing going on with the raw milk stuff currently too. And it's like, the Amish were, I'm sure, very pissed off about their farms getting raided.
Yeah. You raided the Amish? I mean, those people were literally going to use an electronic voting machine, and literally that could send them to hell.
Yeah, they won't do it. And that's the other great thing. Oh, by the way, men prefer tattoo-less virgins. Just FYI.
So I saw a video on Instagram today as I'm scrolling through. It is somebody who's saying, I was in the far left. I was in the
we know.
We know. And she says that, we're talking about, the know-it-all arrogance. I'm right, you're wrong, and how could you even possibly question what I know? It's just a lot of people are in this. You were talking about the bubble earlier. They skim the headlines. They don't even get into the stories. They just know what media's telling. And then when they start to understand a little bit more about what the actual reality on the ground is, you either have this cognitive disconnect, and they absolutely will deny it till their dying day. I know a couple of people about it. I got one guy who posts on Facebook every now and again, and he's an arrogant know-it-all bastard about it because he's right and he has to be right, and he's so smug about it. And you got those people who refuse to admit that they're wrong. They don't even allow for the possibility that they're wrong. And then you have the people that are like, well, this doesn't jibe with what I got told here, and this doesn't here. And we get back to this realization like they've got, coming online. Maybe we didn't have it right. Maybe we are the bad guys. Maybe there's this small percentage of these people I think can be taught that they weren't correct, but it's going to take a lot of effort, man. And the people on our side have got to we talk about, building bridges or whatnot. The left walked away. I'm not going to have anything to do with you because you voted Orange Man bad. And I do think that they have the responsibility to sit there and go, oh, you know what? Oops, we screwed up. We're sorry. We're not going to get that.
No, but the other thing too is, how do you undo the indoctrination? That's the main thing.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Because when you have true believers, how do you undo that?
Well, it's a lot of us in the new media.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a gradual thing because, you're right. They've been inculcated in this stuff for the last 60, 70 years.
Yes. And that's
why
it's
going to be hard for them to suck that, take that pill that, it is. My cousin who works for the state of California got a message from their deputy director of the department that he works in. And they got on Wednesday, or was it Thursday?
Wednesday.
An hour and a half to do self-care.
Yeah.
Whether it was them doing it themselves, coming in and having a powwow, or sitting down with a person and talking on the phone.
Yes, but the pussyversities of the elitist schools like Columbia and other bullshit were out there getting, well, take a time off, play with some Legos, get some coloring books because you're fucking weak as hell.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. Okay?
Well, I can understand being upset because you think that, your way of life is being destroyed, right? Yes, but you still have to be a fucking adult.
Yeah, exactly.
When we were watching the 2020 election and
we knew
we lost, well, hang on, and we lost during that time period. We all got up the next day, we went to work, and we carried on with our fucking lives.
We did.
Yep.
Well, and I think
I don't know. I'm still crying.
I think a lot of it comes down. So for the last 4 years, once, what's his name? Mushbrain got into.
Oh, Grandpa Ice Cream.
Grandpa Ice Cream. Once
he who cannot walk on beaches.
Well, the man of many incomplete sentences.
Exactly. Yeah. But when he came into office,
CultureCasino,
Uncle Bad Touch, Mr. Master of Hair Sniffing.
Let the lady speak. Yeah. Gee whiz, what is wrong with you, mansplainers?
No, I think what it comes down to is that when he came into office, we knew what we would have to do because we knew where things were going to be going.
Yep.
So for the last 4 years, we've been sitting there and setting ourselves up to be able to deal with another 4 years if we came into that. Them, on the other hand, and even with this one, we knew it probably wasn't going to happen, but there was a tiny little chance that he wasn't going to win. And we're prepared. Now they have not prepared because they're always going to win. Yeah. And it's one of those things. So now you have all of these people whose candidate has lost, and they are not prepared for it like we were. And I was talking to my brother who lives in Washington State about this, and and I told him, he's like, a lot of people are scared because I was making fun of what was going on in California with the self-care time. And he said, a lot of people are scared. And I'm like, no, I get that, because suddenly that what is going to happen, there's no way it can't happen, she is going to win. They weren't prepared. They never thought past their bubble in front of their nose that they were going to have to think about, what do I need to do?
Shoes on the other foot this time, because in 2016 we didn't expect to win, and all of a sudden Trump's the president. It's like, oh crap, we won. Now what do we do? You know, the Republicans didn't even have a plan because they all figured that the fix was in for Hillary. And you've got people now, and I don't understand. And it's got to be the indoctrination. The fear comes from this whole narrative of just how evil we are. And I'm like, what in your life experience, from the time that Trump was president the first time, from the time that any Republican has been president for the last 20 or 30 years, what in your life experience leads you to believe that suddenly you're going to be locked up in a concentration camp or put to death or any of these things? I just don't understand how they can reasonably believe this.
The fact that you have certain black people thinking that they're going to be picking cotton, when Trump is president. I mean, I get JoJo as being hyperbolic. Maybe she actually does believe it because, she's a leftist shill, a paid leftist shill. I mean, some of the stuff that she's been tweeting has been absolutely hilarious because of how out of touch it is. And I was over at my mom's and my cousin was there and I was reading some of her tweets. And we were just laughing at how ridiculous they are. It's like the idea that somehow children in factories, child labor laws are going to get rescinded, and it's going to happen. It's like, where the hell is this coming from?
Okay, finally repeal those child labor laws.
No,
yeah.
we're not. No, none of that's going to happen, and
no, it's not. It's like, where is this coming from?
But none of that ridiculous will happen, and that's why the next segment's going to be on the 4B movement, which has been nothing but hysterical. Because look, I know ladies who have tattoos, piercings, and all these other things that don't share this crazy ideology that is now going to define people that share these same characteristics. My goddaughter has piercings and different colored hair and all this other nonsense that I don't really appreciate, but I understand and don't care because she's absolutely gorgeous and wonderful. But she's going to get lumped in with this wackadoodleness, right? And I'm like going, why did this happen? Why are you doing this? And why are you being so mean to people who've lost their hair due to alopecia?
What does that have to do with the wonderful repeal of the child labor laws?
You need a lot of help, dude. Regardless, we have a bunch of wonderful super chats and contributions in our chat.
Make America China again.
No.
China. Listen, I want $20 Nikes made by American children. Damn it.
Okay, can we go
commercial?
To super chats? No, super chats.
They could mine lithium on the weekends.
Oh, would you stop it?
You know what? You're right, Jason.
In North Carolina, just stick them in the mines in North Carolina. Let's go.
If those kids can play a video game, they can swing a pickaxe.
Absolutely.
Get down there and mine that stuff.
I mean,
damn it.
Elon.
You're right, toxic. You're toxic man flu. You're tickle truck. God dang it. I am so based as F. That's right.
Okay,
kids out there.
You can play a video game. You've got the skills. You can focus. Let's go.
That's right. You got thumbs. Get down there.
Isn't that what video games are supposed to be doing? Is training?
That's right. Teaching kids how to mine lithium.
Yes,
that's right.
No.
That's the next game from Ubisoft.
China.
Oh my God! Ubisoft is probably the worst video game corporation right now.
Chinese simulator.
Well, hey. Yeah, actually, that's almost every video game coming out now. Let's just get to super chats. Good Lord!
Child labor USA.
We didn't have any.
What?
That's not it.
Madden miners? Madden lithium mine?
You got this one, right?
Shiba, no, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah, we got that one.
Okay, all right. Okay.
You got that one.
I think
we read Eric.
Okay. Yeah, and okay. Dalu sends me my favorite super sticker. Thank you for $2 saying, you know what? I'm going to whip out this dog shaking its ass from left to right, farting hard. So there you go. There you go. Thank you for that. Mr. Tickle Trunk gives me the fist bump of love. Not sure. Well, maybe that was for Toxic Man Flu. It looks a little directed, dude. Your rump.
No, that's at you. That is definitely at you.
No. Oh, no. For 2.
A horse fist
Canadian
of love.
cash.
I've heard you sing that song.
No. Waiting for someone to apologize to Paul to please. Dude, that guy is such a douche nugget. Paul over there at Forbes is the biggest punk AB I've ever seen in my life.
It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, did you guys hear Alyssa McCunty is now working for Rolling Stone?
Well, no, she wrote an article for Rolling Stone. Everybody over there is what do you call them? Contract players? What is that called? Media. Yeah, freelance. Thank you.
Freelance contractors, consultants.
Yeah, and most of what she wrote about Halo 2, not entirely accurate. So that's going to be a good time. Can't wait to cover that on That Game Place. Anyway, let's go.
The last video game she played was pin the dong on a lesbian, I believe it was.
Well, right? Yeah, and you know who won that? Our friend Smash JT, actually, with Ron Coleman leading that charge. Our good friend Jesus Davila. You know what?
It's Jesus the villain.
That guy. Anyway, for 5 Culture Casino memberships, I just want to say thank you. You mean the world to me, despite the fact that I'm never going to.
The more memberships you guys give, the less culture bitches about it behind the scenes. Man,
that's actually true.
You know what?
That guy complain.
Make the chat green so culture will shut the F up.
That's true. We have to get back up to 1,000 before YouTube gave me the fist of love about a month ago. So anyway,
Tickle Trunk gave you the fist of love.
Well, no, he gave your horse's anus.
You guys know I'm working with Velcro right now.
Okay, can we
sexy
show with this? We have a show.
Jesus, 5 memberships. Thank you very much. I hope you got some comedy out of that. What's going on? I definitely know Jason's paying attention, so let's keep going.
Absolutely. All
right, so Cyrano 2960. Love Cyrano. Cyrano's been a great supporter. And apparently, Toxic Man loves you. Anyway, not you guys, Lamestream Media. Well, I didn't think you were attacking us. We have great hair.
Yeah.
And beards.
Culture's just lame, not a media thing.
Okay. Now you're a dick.
What?
Okay.
Oh, no, I can you? Well, apparently you can read dick, so here we go.
Oh, God. Anyway, from our friend Eric K, wow, that's a lot of dick in the chat. He said mouth and hand dick horse equals tox.
I'm surprised, but also excited that culture takes the dong from a horse and makes milk.
I think this is a bull's milk reference.
No, I feel like somebody drew this out of Eric K. Well, pulled it out.
You stroked it?
No, I'm just he's suggesting that somebody took
Eric a stroke.
No. Oh God.
Multiple
Can we go? Go.
What?
More. Get next.
I'm having a stroke.
Next. Thank you. Mr.
Look, it's Tickle Trunk.
Yeah, he's from Canada. With the Canadian.
Canada.
Yeah. By the way, you're very communist. For 5 Culture Casino cash from Canada, which means it's like $1.50. Yeah. He says, now we should regulate social media, but just to make it 18 plus, maybe 16 plus, like we do alcohol. Well, not here in the States, kid. But anyway, social media is proven to stunt mental development. Well, yeah, especially in 35-year-old women, which you're going to get to in a moment.
Well, technically, all of these social media things, everything, it is 18 and over.
No.
It's 18 and over
YouTube
without
searching.
parent
or ID or any proof whatsoever.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. Let's.
I don't know. It just asked me for my ID at this wicked.com place.
Just freaking. Okay. Anyway, so
I gave it Culture's credit card though.
You're a dick. Anyway, so Tina Guzman for 2, Culture Casino Cash says, Air America Radio with Alec Baldwin. It failed. Yeah, he was the main contributor and money supplier.
Yeah, he was. He was. But you
I
know,
don't remember that.
you know
Well,
what? Alec gave it his best shot.
Indeed.
I'm fortunate. It's great that he is terrible at shooting a gun, except when it comes to a cinematographer. And it's a chick, so he nailed it. Anyway, Taylor Swift should have run as a third party. That would be Matt G. Appreciate the 5 Culture Casino Cash. You're good.
For even suggesting that, you need to be take a timeout from humanity for a
he's
day.
fine. He's fine. He's fine.
It's Matt G?
No.
Okay, fine.
It's fine. If stumbling, mumbling, fumbling, Joe cared about Harris, he would resign now. POTUS Swifty could have united us. Disney would have shit a brick. Oh, they would have. Can you imagine?
Well,
they would have done. What? No?
You've seen the trend now. The talking points went out about that, where they're suggesting that Biden should resign now, so Harris can still be the first woman president.
Yeah, here's the problem with that. The 25 takes a lot of maneuvering. It's the same idea as suggesting her for the next Supreme Court justice. Nobody in their right mind would even.
Well, if he resigns,
to get him to do it, and if the rumors that he and Jill voted,
they hate her.
So there's no way she could do it. They'd have to
No, there would have to be the largest financial transaction in the history of the world to get Biden to say, "You can be a president, you cunt." Anyway, we need to move forward. Wow, I
never swear on my channel.
I did
what
tonight.
the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know, but people are staking around.
Liar,
so
liar, hands on fire.
Hey,
what?
Thanks for the $5. Oh, hey, Cyrano for $2 says, I met Matt Taibbi. Matt Taibbi is awesome. And I can't wait for him to expose more of the corrupt leftisms.
Well, isn't that what the media is supposed to be? It doesn't matter, left, right, whatever.
No, I don't care. Yeah.
But whenever money gets involved, you get to these points, and we haven't won anything yet.
No. What we have
Hakeem Jeffries 2025. And the reason I keep saying that is until we get through January 6th and the certification, and he's inaugurated 2020, he's going to be out there. He's going to be exposed.
This lucky rabbit foot.
Tox is making me feel like we're going to be fine. Anyway, keep going, douchebag. Corinne Drake for 5 Culture Casino Cash. Thank you. It's great to see you here. The most popular video game for children is Minecraft. They yearn for mines. Well,
exactly, 100%.
What they want.
Lithium mines.
I cannot argue with the child labor.
You are doomed.
Indeed.
You lose.
Get in the damn mine, kid.
Yeah, well, I feel like wow. Why
you are the blood diamond now.
What? No kidding. Oh, let me tell you right now. I feel like there's
when my kids, my 2 daughters really started appreciating America.
When you tried to force labor them into something,
right after that big hurricane hit the Dominican Republic. It's about 15 years ago. We went down there for a vacation, and we went off the resort to go see some things and stuff like that. And they saw how those kids lived. We got back to the resort. We're eating something.
And they were like,
good. When are we going back home? Like, yep. You really start to appreciate all those things when you go somewhere where they don't have it.
If you're well traveled in this world, you realize America does not suck.
So get in the damn mine, kid, and shut the hell up.
Yeah, go over there. And
you're lucky. Learn a trade, the coal mining trade.
No. Okay. I'll be honest with you. Air conditioning.
I think I've got the black lung.
Look. Air conditioning and plumbing. Look, ask
above
Pinochet.
The way. Shake it off.
Ask Pinochet. Pinochet is going to live on my compound in the near future, and here he is.
You have a compound?
Yeah, well,
you have a compound.
Very soon, there will be a compound in Tennessee. And Pinochet's going to live there.
It's going to be made by scorched earth.
Yeah, we're definitely going to scorch.
Oh, no, you said rammed Earth. You're going to ram your Earth. Okay,
I am going to ram Earth hard, bitches. Actually, that's just going to be the sound stages. But anyway.
Track race car mine. That's great.
Dude, okay, I like that idea. Can I build a racetrack on my property? A dirt track? That'd be fun, right? Anyway, for Pinochet says for two Culture Casino cash, when the educated elites wag their finners, remember,
You're not
Biden's
funny.
college bailouts regulated a degree to nothing more than a receipt.
Wow.
So I want to say something about the college buyout thing. Okay,
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
no, hold on.
Okay.
So last year,
Yeah.
when he put out the press release, saying that all this was going to happen and everything, they contacted all the physicians and clinicians and stuff that had large debt, student loan debt, right? They said, okay, you're going to get this, and because you work for a nonprofit and all these things and everything, all your payments count, all this stuff, you just have to refinance your loan. So they all refinanced their loan. And they refinanced their loan into a loan with a higher rate that you cannot pay off early.
Nope.
So all of the interest is front loaded. So your mortgage is a front loaded interest thing.
Yep.
You get it and you're paying like $1, and you're not really making any headway in equity until year 15, unless so you're better off getting a line of credit and paying off as much of that mortgage as you can, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they did that. So they all refinanced in these loans that now had new front loaded interest on them. And there's no program of forgiveness.
Nope.
So when they all got their payments and stuff back, oh, guess what? It reset your payments. So if you had made 5 years worth of payments, you were now at 0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So there are physicians out there who are screwed.
They fucked themselves.
Screwed. People that were about to retire that still had student loan debt. Now they've got it all reset. And it's that man and all that stuff did no one any favors when it came to that stuff. If you believed him, you got screwed.
Yeah.
I will say though, my student debt is gone. I did get a letter that said it's gone, and
that's great.
Now
That's
zero balance. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Hey, that's great, but you're about to find out different down the road.
Oh no, I anticipate that it's going to come back. I absolutely,
dude, you're about to get the biggest boomerang you've never seen in your life.
Well,
all
that stuff pays for Obamacare.
Yeah, I expect.
Yeah. Oh. By the way, that thing's going to die on the vine really fast. But most importantly,
talking about he's scared.
Good. He should be scared. Yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you, if anybody can offer you the fist of love, it's the Biden campaign. John Coleman for 5 Culture Casino cash. By the way, John, it was I keep saying it, but it's the truth. I want everybody to show up at meetups because the opportunity to talk to people is kind of the most important thing to me here, right? It's like, second most, third most. First most is you guys making sure that I can live, right?
Right behind sucking dick. You guys are number 2 for Culture Casino.
Number 3. I need
sucking dick, taking in the ass. Culture Casino's people. That's his order.
I need 1,000 members or more, and those of you who know me know that's true. And I need all of you to spend at least $150 a month on the channel in super chats. None of this is true, by the way. And I just want to say thank you for John. It was just extraordinary to meet you, and you all who I got to meet this last time around refilled my joy bucket in a way that I'm going to call out Disney investors this week for investing in Disney.
As she didn't touch your joy button, you guys will be fine.
You
still have stuff to read.
I do. Okay, so from our friend Scott Westbrook, who's been here for 31 months and has supported me to the wall.
You poor bastard.
Real quick, guys. I need to go to bed, so
you can't.
I'll see myself out.
No. The 4B movement's next, dude. What a jerk.
You're taking forever to get there.
I was trying to get to the 4B. Anyway, so he says, did anyone else read the Newsweek article about wanting Sotomayor to retire so VP Harris could be appointed to the Supreme Court.
I saw that.
Yeah, and first of all,
again.
do you realize how many genuine Republican senators
It would probably
would
be the
say-
first time that I've seen a Supreme Court justice impeached.
Yeah, before they got hired. It's
Because
true.
she's worse than Ketanji Brown Jackson.
No, well, okay, maybe. Look, I mean,
That
first
pesky
of all,
First Amendment.
look, I'm going to tell you right now. If you can't tell me what a woman is, you shouldn't be on the bench. But regardless, okay, let's do this. We've got one more thing I absolutely have to get to. We have two potential things to get to. But most importantly, I'm going to talk about the weather. I mean, about what the 4B movement is. You guys deserve to know this. An EV magazine made sure it would happen. 11 Alpha says Mexican Ironman is currently in hiding from Yemenis monkeys.
That's right. They're all over South Carolina, North Carolina, wherever he is. Poor bastard.
Right.
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
When Donald Trump transitions, toxic man flu. Well, yeah.
Mhm.
True story.
That was me.
Yep.
And Tina.
The lovely Tina Bojan said, or Tina Guzman.
Latinx is just taking the masculine and feminine out because they use Latino and Latina. Just a thought.
Yeah,
it is.
no,
That's what
it
they tried to
is.
do.
And that's what they tried to do, and which offended everybody. All of my friends. They were like, well, yeah, F you. And I agree. F you very much. We believe in male and female, and so does science, by the way. So, suck a bag of anyway, we gotta jump to the next commercial break, Talk. So I feel like we can move on.
Do you ever dream of heading out to the country? Would you like to ride out on the range? We've got the dude ranch that we know you want to come to. Out at Division Ranch, out here on the plains. Let's take you down to Dick's Division country. Let's get you out there on the range. You'll learn to yell each and every Monday and throw down well on Thursdays. Nick cooks the meals, hope you like pizza, and Tosh signs the deals, that's why we don't get paid. Corey will read and do his funny voices. Comics will do his best to chase your cares away. Let's take you down to Dick's Division country. Let's get you out there on the range. You'll learn to yell each and every Monday and throw down well on Thursdays. Serves up the drinks. What's tonight's bourbon? Culture will get to the point eventually. George West and the Patriot Drew can't cite your many sources. The Dick's Division Ranch is for you, and I'm sure we'll all agree. Let's take you down to the Dick's Division country. Let's get you out here on the range. You'll learn to yell each and every Monday and throw down well on Thursdays. Mondays and Thursdays, everybody.
Yes, that's right. And our great friend Dean Krantz reminds us that not only is it the Marine's birthday today, if you didn't know that already, 249 years. Well, we have the Veterans Day coming up tomorrow. You need to celebrate that. It's really important. You may also have to celebrate something called the bee movement. And no, I'm not talking about a bowel movement, despite what it sounds like, and the people that have been pushing it, which, sound like uh, something in the bowels. But some ladies from way back in the 2019 era, even before that, if you believe some of the internet, that were talking about how to live your life differently because you were a thrown away woman. Well, after the results of this latest election, ladies have decided to reject men. And I don't think the men are objecting. We have an article that I want to highlight here with the amazing cast that's next to me from EV Magazine, because you need to know what the EV movement is. And again, it's a little different than a bowel movement, but not that much different. The 4B movement is, depending upon where you are in the world, feminism, and its underpinning movements can look wildly different. In South Korea, it arrived at what's called the 4B movement, which urges women to reject men, marriage, and reproduction. Even in the face of South Korea's population crisis, by the way. This isn't as widespread as they would hope for. And as you can see here, it's certainly not as attractive. For members of the 4B movement, this is a retaliation against a society they view as irredeemable. The 4B movement calls upon its female members to reject 4 things, all with the prefix by, meaning no, not let's get down with whatever we can find. Dating, sex, marriage, and burying and raising children with men. Okay, well, good luck doing that with chicks. Not to be associated with the term femcel, which they're apparently involved with as well. These women aren't involuntarily celibate and out of the dating pool. They're doing so by choice. These South Korean chicks have felt demeaned and disrespected at best by men, and at worst, they've been abused and treated as subhuman. Interesting. What I'm seeing here is that they haven't been able to be successful on the dating apps. Anyway, the South Korean women have felt that way for a bit. They don't seek to change the minds of men, but to remove them from their lives in response to their experiences. In other words, they want to be very, 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 very lonely with a lot of cats in their future. The 4B movement emerged at roughly the same time as the nation claims the lowest fertility rate in the world and can be seen as a response to it, as if to say, we're more than tools. No, actually, you are tools to further the nation. And why would we serve a country that doesn't respect us? Well, apparently you don't pay much attention. So they are arguing, because of China, by the way, that women have to do it all. And they've been influenced by non-Confucian values, which include the encouragement of mothers to bear sons over daughters. Well, China figured that is very, very bad. And so they stopped that policy just a few years ago, recognizing that stuff was, well, in trouble. The sentiments appear to be changing as more parents in South Korea appear to favor daughters now, even though on paper it's good that people are favoring daughters equally to sons, if not more so. It's not exactly because sex-based discrimination has been eradicated, which it largely has in that region and basically everywhere else in the world. According to Cho Young-tae, a professor at Seoul National University's graduate school, societies prefer sons because the cultural pressure and interest lay in continuing the family's lineage, which is exactly what the problem is. Now, interestingly enough, CNN actually bothered to do a story on this, which I have to tell you, as we get the share removed on my part. After Trump's win, some women are considering the 4B movement, which has nothing to do with with what's happening right now. In fact, this was updated yesterday. And look at all those feminist flags, by the way. That looks very empowering, just so you know. And we have a lady on the panel, so she can tell me how empowering the purple flags are. But anyway, in the hours and days since it became clear that Trump would be reelected president in the United States, there's been a surge of interest in the U.S. for 4B. By the way, very disrespectful and completely not in line with what the original movement was about. Young liberal women across TikTok and Insta Facebook Gram are discussing and sharing information about that particular movement. No, actually, they're misrepresenting what that was all about in, a way to, well, be twisted because it's TikTok run by China, which we're trying to get rid of, and Canada has actually already done so in their country for national security reasons. These women say they're enraged and fed up after the majority of their male counterparts voted for a candidate who was found liable for abuse. Well, no. Actually, a crazy person who has no proof of any of the things that she described was granted a civil settlement that will likely be struck down later. They're at odds with the Superior Court justices that were put in place, which they claim led to the overturning of a thing that even Ruth Bader Ginsburg had trouble with in the Roe v. Wade decision. Again, the ability for them to, at any moment in time, end a pregnancy that they desire to get rid of, despite the fact that they, allowed for somebody to impregnate them, for lack of a better way to describe it. So this is where we're at in this point in time. And the foolishness of it all can only be described by somebody who, I will say, as a woman, probably has a better perspective, which we will take a vision of now.
Oh my God, land your plane.
I just said.
This goes out to all the women who are now participating in the 4B movement. Congratulations, you finally figured out what abstinence is. You also figured out that it's kind of important that you want to have a good relationship with the person that you're having sex with, because when you're doing the act of procreation, there's a slight possibility that you might actually procreate a child. You also proved, though, that you are in fact using this as a form of birth control and not in the 0.01% of the two things that I cannot mention on TikTok. But I gotta say, pardon my French, but how fucking dare you that you sit in America in all your privilege and shave your head and post some of the most horrendous, awful, evil, and just disgusting things that I have ever read and seen on the internet directed towards other women who simply just voted different than you. Then call for the eradication of an entire color of men, also just because they voted different to you. You sit there and you fearmonger so bad to women in America, while there are women overseas where it is illegal for their voices to even be heard, where they are bought and sold as pleasure commodities for men. Where were you guys on October 7th when there were things happening to women that I cannot talk about, mention, or allude to on this app because of how awful and disgusting and evil they are? We are so privileged in America to be able to do all of this, and you sit there and just stop bullshitting me. The Kamala Harris administration admitted yesterday that Project 2025 had nothing to do with Donald Trump and that they knew it. But the only reason why they were talking about it was because they knew it would get them the female liberal feminist vote. Donald Trump, if he wanted to take your rights, he would have done so in the first term. But hey, he's actually a president that cares about us and cares about who's in our spaces, in our sports, in our scholarships, and in our bathrooms. Donald Trump is so sexist that he actually is going to be appointing the first female to ever be put in the position of presidential chief of staff. Yeah, you heard that right. 46 presidents before this, not a single man has ever done that, but Donald Trump is going to be the first because he actually cares about us. He's also one of the only presidents in history to ever start a worldwide coalition to end the criminalization of being gay. Because again, he actually cares about us and our human rights. Stop fear-mongering women. Stop attacking us just because we voted different. And I hate to break it to you, but you're not losing your precious right to abortion, and it's not a right, but that is an argument for a different day. The year Roe v. Wade, before it was overturned, 500,000 abortions. The year after Roe v. Wade was overturned, 1 million. This past election, 7 out of 10 states approved their abortion expansion agendas. You're not losing your precious quote-unquote right to unalive your offspring. And you know what? Yeah, I did vote for Donald Trump because I'm not going to vote for him for one policy. But granted, if I only did vote with my uterus and my hormones, I would have voted against Donald Trump because he is the most pro-choice president since any of these liberals, any of these Democrats. But I'm not voting for or against him for one stupid thing. I want to be able to afford gas. I want to be able to afford groceries. I would love to be able to move out of my parents' house one day and get a house with my boyfriend who I would love to marry and have kids with one day so I can raise well-off, well-rounded, smart young ladies and young gentlemen that know their worth and they don't need to sleep around. But you know what? They also know what a woman and a man is and they don't get their worth from the government. They don't need help from them. Is that so much to ask? Stop sitting there. Stop fear-mongering. Leave us the hell alone. That's why I voted for Donald Trump, was because I want to be able to afford to live, but then once I'm able to, afford to be able to live, I would love the government to get the hell out of my life. And that's why I voted for him. But to all the feminists, to all the liberals, go bark up a tree, honestly. Quit fear-mongering, quit attacking us, and just leave us alone, please.
Yeah, what she said.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that's that moment where I went, okay, that's going to be on tonight's show. Has to be. And there's somebody who spoke eloquently and with great effect, and that's what's required in this day and age.
And speed.
Yeah, and Godspeed to that. Exactly. Look, there are people in the chat that want their voices heard, and we'll definitely do that. We just have more in this subject that we'll get to in just a moment. I just want to say, you'll have plenty of opportunity to do this in any state that it's legal, and that's the whole point.
Well, we just did in Missouri. We just Amendment 3 passed. I don't know. Did we ever figure out if they needed the 60% threshold or not for it to go?
We did not.
All right. So we had on the ballot on election day, Amendment 3. It was a proposal for a new constitutional amendment here in the state to rescind the existing abortion restrictions laws that were triggered when Dobbs happened. And it passed with, I think, 54% of the vote in the day. So, and that's the thing that these people don't understand when they sit there and say Trump will take away your rights. One, it's the decision is back to the states, which means the actual citizens get to vote and decide.
Yes.
And two, the president can't do jack about it anyway because that's the legislature. He can sit there and he can ask for a bill. He can propose a bill. He can do maybe an executive order of some sort, which can then be turned around by another executive order that takes it away.
Yeah.
Or, when the Congress actually does their damn job and writing a law and passing a law, whatever. And then it's got to pass muster with the Supreme Court.
I need to ask you a question, Jason. For how long?
12.
For how?
I'm sorry.
16.
But for how long was Roe v. Wade in place?
Way too long, but since 1973.
Which
so how many
means
years?
that, which
50
means, which means that at what point could a law have been passed to guarantee a woman's right to end?
Yeah.
A life?
And they keep promising to codify Roe v. Wade. But the thing about it is, and this is the same as it is for every other issue that the Democrats have run on for the past 70 years. If they solve the problem, they no longer have a campaign issue.
Right.
They
It's
do this
called
to rile up in.
it's a
all
wedge.
emotional.
It's
Yeah,
a wedge issue. And
exactly
this
what
was
it
a
is.
discovery and a thing that they started to exploit since the Clinton campaign because of Dick Morris. And again, I'm going to go back to every single Democrat that's to blame for all of the situations we're in now, because that's what it's been.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the problem is? And this is where we get weird. Abortion isn't healthcare.
No,
Abortion has been utilized as birth control. Now, you can argue with me, and that's fine, but I'm going to show you evidence and proof. Okay? The following slide, which is about to pop up on the screen, courtesy of Toxic Man Flu, will show you that the number of ending of lives from a uterine position, I'll say it that way. Here you go. Percentage. The pregnancy resulted from an incestuous relationship, 0.01%. Woman was mistreated by a dude who, laid in them with child, 0.15%. These are all real numbers, folks. I'm not making it up. 0.2%, the woman's life was endangered by having the child. I get that. That's a bad situation. 0.98%, still less than 1%, guys, just so you know. There was a serious fetal abnormality. Understood. Like they were going to have like no chance of like existing.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.48%, the women's physical health was threatened by said follow-up. Okay. I get it. That makes a lot of sense to me, right? By the way, none of these are illegal. Everything we covered so far, not illegal. If you were, by any definition of the law, by any state in the union, even those that have bans on these kinds of things. Okay? Women's psychological health was threatened by the birth of a child, 1.88%.
Yeah.
Okay. Understandable. There are some ladies that are just emotionally unprepared and have demonstrated that by a whole lot of things. And now we get into where it doesn't make sense. The women decided to change their pregnant circumstance for social or economic reasons. For a lot of people, maybe that's passable. I'll give you it. Okay. But beyond all of that, 74.9%. Can you read that for me? I can't read that.
No reason at all. It's because they have the right to be able to do it.
There you go.
Yep.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
No. But what there is it's a decision. Yes.
It's 100% a decision, which that person has the free right to be able to do.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed. And that's where we're at. That I honestly believe that most people will not ever come to grips with. But go ahead.
The other part of that, and I'm sharing another article that
you grab the one for my comic relief, actually. So well done.
This is actually an industry. This is people's voice.com.tv. I have not been able to determine that this is a parody site, so I'm going to assume it's not. And it says here it's fact checked. Abortion clinics warn they'll go bankrupt if Democrat sex strike continues.
I feel like
all of this.
I feel like this is humor. Okay, I'm going to say that right now up front.
I lean that way.
But this is the way they think.
But the way it's written and the fact that I can't, I went into their About Us section, and from everything that they're saying, they sound like a legitimate type of news outlet, not a humor site, not The Onion.
Except that I've seen a bunch of things coming out of this place where I'm like, yeah, you seem like
Maybe
you're skating the edge. But I'll just say this, right? This particular site, and again, I think I'm sharing it also. If I'm not, I should be.
You are not.
Um,
Jason's sharing it.
All right. Well, let's do it in a way that it looks a little more presentable for our audience. It's shared, by the way.
It's not a picture of
You just don't like me not using dark
No.
mode or something.
No, yeah, you weren't using dark mode because you don't know how to do it.
No,
But,
it's
yeah.
every single plugin that I've got for dark mode messes up my login for my website, and I don't know why it does that, but I
anyway,
can't do it.
so this obviously was from today. I'm not going to buy it completely. I'll just say this: there's some humor here. According to staffers inside these clinics, the majority of business comes from promiscuous left-wing women. This is how do you not know this is funny? This is anyway. The very same women who are now abstaining from getting down in protest of Donald Trump winning the 2024 election.
Oh, they're only not getting down with conservative men.
Well, that's
so they can have all the libtard babies they want.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean they definitely can get
better than that. It gets better than that. I got something else here to share with you here in a minute when we get there. But
Sure. But according to podcaster Alex Marlowe, the anti-Trump women refraining from sex are inadvertently doing God's work. And maybe this is true. And again, this is done for humorous effect, folks. So don't come at me. You know, make your own moral judgments on what you're going to do with whatever's happening in your life. But you know what? I'm happy with this thing. If this is going to happen, if they're swearing off being intimate with men, dating men because they voted for Trump, I have to say it's probably going to lead to fewer, removals of pregnancy. And I'm cool with that. The fewer eliminations of future children, the better, which I can understand that perspective. Now, mind you, this is a Breitbart contributor.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
Some people may not share in that opinion.
No. I mean, look, if you want to get down and use, the elimination of future kids as a birth control method, go, apparently as long as it's legal in your state, go to town. But,
if there's
morally, I don't agree.
If this article is even halfway legitimate and Planned Parenthood is facing financial ruin because of this, I'm good with that too.
Well, they were already kind of in big trouble because of what was already going on.
Given the reasons why they started, and how many? See, this is another opportunity here because how when you talk about the bubble. And people starting to wake up and realize, well, wait a minute, hang on. Now here's an opportunity to discuss how Planned Parenthood got started, why they got started.
Well, most people,
the other conversations that are going on now about abstinence.
Yeah, and most people don't want to talk about Sanger, right? They really don't want that revealed, and I get it, right? I do. But what I do want to tell you is, there are people that are participating in the 4B movement, Jason, that I feel like, well, they maybe don't have to.
They couldn't get laid if they were giving it away for free.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe. Oh, sorry, Tox.
Stop doing that. Talk and finish the screen so I can go to bed.
I will feel like maybe we'd be okay if they didn't have to do performative stuff like what we have here. A lot of people.
So the one thing
can someone tell me what MAGA men find attractive so that I can wear the complete opposite? Thanks.
You are it.
She's already got it.
Can someone tell me?
Okay, now she didn't have to say that very much for very long, and I think a lot of people arrived at the same conclusion. And of course, we have somebody who is going to help you get permanently sterilized. I'm not sure this is great. And she's opening herself up to getting sued. But Tox, I'm going to drop this in the same window here. If I can get to the same window, there we go. This person is extra crazy with cheese and is opening themselves up to absolute disaster I'm not sure why this is not translating.
Hit the button. Hit the button.
I actually tried to hit the button. Did we get there? We did. Here you go. This is a crazy person.
She's blonde. So, yeah.
One is to schedule a consultation with your doctor. I suggest starting with your established OBGYN, but if you feel they're not going to support your decision or you don't have one, I have a list of over 2,000 gynecologists who will listen. Schedule specifically a consultation for sterilization. This way your physician knows exactly what you're going to talk about that day and can focus on that sole discussion. Step 2 is that at this appointment, you're going to talk to your doctor about why you're interested in sterilization. Do you have a child-free life and that's the right choice for you? Do you have children but know that you don't want any more no matter what else happens in your life? Or do you have medical problems where you feel that pregnancy would be a danger to your health? Discuss those concerns with your doctor so they really understand that you understand what you're asking for. Your doctor is going to discuss the risks, the benefits, and the alternatives to the surgery. And that is what informed consent is and is very important when you make this decision for yourself. Step 3 is that they're going to talk to you about scheduling the surgery. And there's lots of different ways that you can become sterilized, so they're going to discuss all those options with you. If you go through all these steps and you still haven't found someone who can help you out, again, I have a list of over 2,000 gynecologists in my profile who will help you with your sterilization no matter how old you are, how many children you've had, or your marital status.
I don't know if I want to be with a woman who has 2,000 gynecologists.
Well, I mean, maybe she's a doctor.
I don't know. I mean, if she wants to choose a lifestyle without having children and wants to be sterilized, fine. I mean,
It's not that easy.
yeah. So go for it. It's going to take a while, right? Because there's liability. It's funny.
Insurance.
The insurance won't pay for it. That's the big thing. That's why they need it as a law and all this stuff and everything. So insurance will be forced to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the sterilization front, they want this and do all that and everything, but I lost my point. When you talked about the insurance stuff, it right out of my head because it's midnight and I need to go to bed.
Yeah, and look, we need to move on. She is presenting something that I think a lot of physicians.
I know what I was going to say.
No,
she sterilizes herself and all that. Her gene pool, that's gone.
Yeah. Oh no, her lineage is toast.
Yeah, and lineage is gone and all that stuff and things from there. And there are a lot of people who wish they could have
kids,
that stuff from there. And I do things that support young women having the child and it going through to adoption. I do support the mother still being a part of the child's life.
Me too.
Going forward and that kind of stuff and things from there. What I am fully against is pressing your values onto somebody else.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Speaking of pressing things onto somebody else, well,
she's just doing this in solidarity for somebody who has cancer. I know it.
It's performative, and we'll get into why. But there's one person I'm going to talk about in just a minute that I really feel for. Oh wait, I need to turn.
As long as she's done this to her anus, we're all good.
No, I mean, again, this is a person who's doing this in support of 4B. And, you can tell these people because, well, I mean...
Has she ever even smelled the penis?
I don't know. I think she's had a lot of fish smells in her nose before, but that's very performative.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
And
that's
look,
the narcissism.
Yeah, it is. And one last thing, and this is the thing that pisses me off the most, because I feel like this particular movement in the United States by very woke white women. Yeah, I'm saying it.
Yeah, I hope she donated that hair too. But that they probably just threw a lot of this stuff away.
Well, unlike me, who donates every time I cut my hair, I doubt it. And here's why I hate this.
Even pubic.
Perhaps. But here's why I hate this, and this is the most important thing I think I can share with anybody tonight. This woman, which I'm going to play her audio because she deserves it.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Well, hang on. She is not 4B.
I just learned what the 4B movement was because somebody had said that women are shaving their head in support of the 4B movement, and I was like, cool. Awesome. We're going to have more bald baddies. And this is not about the 4B movement at all. Like, my daughter said that she's joining. That's what she wants to do. I said, girl, you get it. But then I realized when I learned what the 4B movement was, why y'all are saying you're going to shave your head. It's so you'll be less attractive, right? To men. Because women without hair are not attractive. Like, and I know you're looking at me right now and you're like, girl, you got yesterday's makeup on. I do. But after losing my hair last year, the last thing I need is an entire movement of bald baddies, bald because they think it makes them ugly. Because I just found a place where I feel pretty sometimes, okay? Just PSA. Us women with alopecia and going through treatment, we don't need you making a statement that says bald women are ugly. It's rude.
Excellent point.
Yep.
This
TZ Burton
is-
covering from breast cancer. We know a lot of these people.
Yeah, I live in this world, guys.
Mr. Tickle Trunk loves bald women. That's what we say. So there you go.
I literally live in this world. It's why I do what I do. It's important to me, and the fact that the reason this is being done by these incredibly myopically visioned ladies is disgusting and frustrating and I don't even know anymore. I don't understand. If you ask me why I donate my hair, it's for this purpose. It's because some ladies are so wrecked by the idea that they're losing their hair because of their cancer treatment, because it's struggling. People who with alopecia, there's a whole lot of conditions that create this situation for women. And look, I mean, their self-esteem, if you believe in empathy or sympathy or both or all, you would never put somebody in that situation. Okay? Yep. You would never try to portray that as something that's unattractive. You know, look, I get it. It's again, I have donated my hair now many times. It's why I am constantly growing my hair out. And to have somebody react in that way is very telltale. And for people to be so self-centered in that moment, and to understand that to them, they understand that I love hair. Okay. The hair to me is beautiful. People who have hair are beautiful. But you can't take away somebody's self-esteem that way. Okay. And that's what this movement does. Well, this part of this, what do you call it? Performative version or element of this movement does. It's disgusting. It's actually subhuman of you that are doing it. And
well, I think you touched on it too. They're myopic. They're not thinking long term. It's they're reacting. It's an emotional thing, and it's based on indoctrination and propaganda and brainwashing. And I'm seeing a lot of these videos. They all seem to be of an age, and I know they're not all in their 20s, but a lot of them look like they're in their 20s and early 30s, which means that they're in that their brains aren't fully cooked yet, which means they're stupid and they're just reacting, and they're acting rashly. They're making decisions based on what other people have told them to do. They're not doing any critical thinking at all. And they probably don't even know about alopecia. The cancer thing probably wouldn't even have occurred to them at all, because that's not the moment they're in. They're in this one moment of Trump's going to kill us all, and they're not looking anywhere else beyond that. And a lot of people are talking about Persis Kambata. She was gorgeous bald, and just completely lost it when they shaved her head. She was bawling, and then she got over it. And when she's on Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and there's this,
Yep.
there's nothing wrong. objectively, there's nothing wrong with a bald woman. It can be attractive. But the reasons why they don't have hair can vary. It could be somebody who's just decided, hey, I'm just going to do it. I mean, Sinead O'Connor comes to mind. But either you're making a statement or you're going through something, and this movement just completely ignores all of that, neglects that, and kind of sideline. It's just like men in women's sports. We're going to take away women's identity in the name of trans rights. Well, this is the same kind of disrespect to women who are going through XYZ fill in the blank. It's the same short-sightedness, the same narrow-mindedness that has us fighting over whether men should be allowed in women's bathrooms or not. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
And again, it disgusts me, and it's why I've been driven by this for a very long time. But
they're short-sighted. They're short-sighted. It's the hubris, the same hubris that we saw at the Saturday Night Live skit. Is the same hubris here.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find something to collect to and all that stuff. But I mean, these were the women that got Hitler elected.
Wow. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, even the South Korean women aren't fully in line with the things that they're doing, but that's an entirely other conversation. You don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand why you're doing it, and you don't understand who it affects. And if your goal is to make yourself unattractive, you know what? Tattoo your entire face. Split
some
your
people
tongue.
like that.
Sure.
Some people like that.
Yeah, but turn into a lizard person. I mean, I'm going to tell you the WEF folks are going to love you. Regardless.
If these women really want to be unattractive to conservative men, just keep spouting what they're spouting. They don't have to shave their heads.
They don't have to do any of that.
They don't have to do that. Just open your mouth.
Yeah, and by the way, tattoos can be incredibly attractive. That's not what I was saying. Regardless, what I'm going to do
got
now.
one on his backside. That's,
don't tell anybody. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. We got some super chats. We got some member chats. We got some great people out there. And you know what?
Could I tag on to something here real quick before we do that? I'm sharing that the extension of this movement is not just, hey, let's make ourselves unattractive to men, let's abstain or whatever. This is coming to the fore. I don't know how widespread this is, but this is starting to make the rounds. And I'm not going to play the video, but this is a new variation on MAGA. Make Aqua Tofana great again.
What the hell is that?
A poison from the 17th century.
Oh my God.
Sold by women to other women seeking to escape abusive relationships by discreetly poisoning their husbands. They are actively campaigning here a movement, not just let's make ourselves unavailable, unattractive to men. This is a movement that's basically saying, let's make them room temperature.
Wow.
This is insane, but not surprising. Remember my bingo card.
Women are nuts.
This is just unbelievable.
If this were to happen, I'm going to tell you there would be no reason not to pursue unaliveness for people who did this. Anyway, let's step out of here. We got some super chats, we got some member chats, and we've got a lot of love. John Coleman, my friend, who is amazing, by the way, got a chance to again hang out with him, as I said before. Thank you for an awesome night. No, thank you, my friend. You're wonderful, and I appreciate your support. And you're great, and thank you. We got a couple more. We got to grab, including Eric K for $2 saying a pair of DDs are better than 4 Bs. Well, I've seen some of those.
I don't know.
You know,
Unless all four of them are on the same woman, that could be interesting.
boy.
Normally, you pay double for that cotton.
Hey, you know,
On Mars, they have 3.
let's see
That's
how
true.
it turns out. Anyway.
Columbus.
We got Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, who celebrates 47 months. Guys, it's almost 4 years. Oh,
What is wrong with him?
I love this guy. 47, hold my beer. Sci-fi, send me a photo for taxes. Boom. Larry, a name so nice, you say it twice. Who's been here forever. Love this guy. Says, 44 months of membership. I've been a member off and on for 44 months. Beaches. It's right. Crazy beaches. I think it's been a long dang time, dude. Thank you. Five. I'm yawning because I got out of bed. Called Casino Cash says, what makes these so-called liberal ladies think conservatives want to be with them to begin with?
Yes.
That's a great question. Most dudes see the crazy eyes and run for the hills. And the ones that don't give you a fake name, ladies. Anyway. The Dead Man. What's up, Dead Man? For 5, Culture Casino Cash says, where were the My Body, My Choice people during the mandated stabby stabs and wearing the cloth performative item? During the global crisis. Good question. Good question. Boy, did I YouTube that up. Oh,
Sure did.
I cannot wait for the.
I wonder how strict YouTube's going to be.
Not soon.
Now that there's a new DOJ in town.
Yeah, I feel like they might.
Yet.
I feel like they're going to find out that any of the stuff that they did in the past is going to be looked on with scrutiny in the future.
I can't wait for the Section 230 discussions.
Yeah, I have a feeling like we could get 230 could be circle. What's that called?
Well, so if you got Elon Musk looking into that stuff, and you got RFK Jr. looking at this stuff, you got the right people looking at those things, they can come together and say, this is the stuff that you're passing. This is the stuff that you're doing. We'll do bam, 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 bam. Put that together. And start getting... I heard one Brandon Herrera for ATF director. I am all for that.
Wow.
Because the first thing that happened, he'd go in there, NFA, gone. Not doing it.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
We're not
most
charging
of
you $200 for a suppressor. Forget it. You know, all gone.
And mostly the rest of you are going to sit on the sidelines and
99% of you are fired.
Bye.
Do we even need ATF? Can we get rid of it?
Get rid of the whole thing. ATF, Department of Education. The only thing the Department of Education has done since it's been instilled is make our education worse.
Drive down education. I tried to explain that to a family member. I'm like, ever since Jimmy Carter created this bologna sausage, it's been downhill ever since.
Made a lot of money for administrators, and it's also laundered a lot of money out of
unions and unions.
Well,
unions, books.
And took care of a lot of textbooks that nobody wants or needs. Yeah. Anyway. But no, you're right. Thank you, the Dead Man. We've got another amazing person that contributed to tonight's stream.
Who?
The person after Dead Man.
I don't have anything after Dead Man.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here then, I guess. Thought I saw somebody else, but it's fine. All I know is this. I had a great time tonight. I hope everybody else did. You got to go check out Jason and, Mindy. I mean, Mindy's the real person that holds the channel together over on Sci-Fi For Me TV. In fact, I don't believe it would even exist without her.
I sprung for the $8. I got the blue check mark over on Twitter.
Congratulations. I have never seen $8 from you ever. So thanks.
It should have been coming out.
Okay. Whatever.
I guess not. All right. Whatever.
Yeah. And Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, our friend from the Green Machine. I'm going to say it. Rumble. Thank you. We don't fire the feds outright. You make them pick crops. Yeah, under a limited amount
Extreme duress.
No, a limited
Take him out
amount
behind
of.
the woodshed with a
That's
switch.
I feel like, yeah, the bulk of you are amazing, and there's a couple of you that I think are pretty good. On that note,
I'm with this one. Peter Venkman fan said they can use textbooks from the 70s like I did for math. Those actually explained loans.
Yeah. Well, the new math bologna sausage garbage tasticness. There's words. Yeah, they're terrible. Why would you do that? And our friend Death Angel Shadow, who's been here for almost 20 months, 19 anyway. Hey now, Jason's mods rock. Yeah, I agree. They're pretty good,
Yes.
Yep.
especially you, my friend. All right, we need to roll out of here and drop some AOAO. But before we do that, I need to promote something important to me. Beachpunk.com. Yes, Beachpunk.
Guys.
Beachpunk.us still works. But in order for me to retire ever in my lifetime, officially, not, I'm retired now, but in order for me to make sure I never have to work again, you guys got to buy stuff. So check out beachpunk.com, beachpunk.us, and show up to tomorrow morning stream, the 6-minute daily. For those of you who popped over from Valiant Renegade, thank you. And for those who showed up from elsewhere, you're even more appreciated. And actually, everybody's appreciated. Let's be fair. We got so much more to do, but we don't have time for it. So you'll have to check back tomorrow. Tox, can you tell everybody, or at least play everybody?
I'm just going to
great
play a clip
commercial.
and we're going to leave.
Yeah, it sounds great. Let's do that.
All right. So
I'm
here's the
very
clip I
tired.
want to play.
No.
All right, everybody.
I'm going to last much longer.
Yeah.
I know. Here we
Sometimes
go.
I get so mad, there's no controlling me.
Get
My
your
thoughts get so
AOs
bad,
in,
I'm
kid.
I might grab a bat, I don't know. My
Sorry,
wrath,
Arjun.
my blood boils over
Go
like
ahead, smell Gary
oh
Walker.
God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
We got some N-O's.
There you
Here we go.
Cause I know you got me fucked up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted. So mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back.
Here we go.
I'll do what it takes. I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit. I go crazy when I'm mad. And now
Oh, there we go.
shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude, crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently, thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted. So mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes. I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back.
All right, everybody, have an incredible week. Thanks for being here. Do check out That Park Place tomorrow for a better version of tonight's monologue and opinion piece. And also, we've got some more reasons not to invest in Disney, but I'm not giving stock advice. And on that note, everybody, I appreciate you and everybody else that was on the panel tonight. Take care of yourself and see ya.